Hello, and welcome back to Good Critic, Bad Critic. We got another review for you this week, and this one, I can say with confidence, is loaded with Muppetry, and it's not because of the two gentlemen that I have with me. We got Captain Quintano on my left here, and Craig, who is another Saturday Night Live cast member on the right. So how was your guys' week? Did you guys have a good week so far?
Fantastic week. Just worked. Celebrated some birthdays with the family. Just another week, man. Ready for Christmas.
Yeah. How about you, Craig?
Great week at work for an immense change. Christmas pretty much sorted for that. So, yeah, been looking forward to this all week.
Christmas is right around the corner, guys. Hope
So
you guys got
close.
your Christmas shopping done. Well, you still got, 12 days, but I still haven't got mine done.
You just got to keep it easy. Do like Secret Santa with the family. That way you only have to get one gift. You know?
I guess we should sneak in right now, since we're mentioning Christmas, that next week will be a Christmas-themed review here. We are going to do... we should go ahead and say that we're going to do the first Home Alone movie, which... I mean, that should be a lot of fun.
Classic. Absolute classic.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But for now, we are going to do a film that is Craig's pick for the week. This is Ghostbusters from 1984. Tell me, Craig, why did you pick this one for this week for us?
Simple enough reason. Generally, we'll say Terminator 2 is my favorite film ever. But depending on which day of the week you ask me, I sometimes might say Ghostbusters. I've been watching this film since I was 4. I loved it then. I didn't get all the jokes for very good reasons, but they still hold up. There's no fat on this film. There's no bloat. All the jokes cut right to the point. It is a friggin' work of art as a comedy film. And until, weirdly enough, until Home Alone, this was the highest grossing comedy film of all time.
No shot.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Beverly Hills Cop beat it to number 1 in the American box office for 1984, but it was re-released a few times, taking it over Beverly Hills Cop overall. So that's why it had the number 1 comedy spot. But yeah, until Home Alone, it was the highest grossing comedy of all time.
Right. I had no idea. Quentin, had you ever seen this film before?
I grew up watching like the second Ghostbusters. I watched it a lot. The guy on the painting who was really creepy for me growing up. For some reason, I had only seen the second one. So this was a first for me. But any movie with Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney
Weaver. Any movie with Sigourney's wiener.
There's a Freudian slip.
Wow. Sigourney Weaver. I'm all in, dude.
It's lucky your wife's just gone out.
You have her fighting aliens or getting possessed, and I'm in, dude.
All right. Well, Ghostbusters came out in 1984. I was actually talking before because it's the second film. I watched 2 movies today. One for my Patreon from my main channel. And I watched 1984, the actual 1984 that was based on George Orwell's novel. And it was with John Hurt playing the lead. It also had Richard Burton in there. It was very, very good. I was very impressed with it.
Degree of separation there. John Hurt and Sigourney Weaver.
Alien. I know, yeah, because of Alien, yeah. In the same, yeah. John Hurt's the one that gets his chest bursted in that iconic scene that made everybody squeal.
From the first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the first one that I watched today. Then I got to Ghostbusters and 1984. I'm just warning you right now, Craig. I'm definitely going to be the bad critic today. It's going to be. You mentioned this is one of your favorite movies, and You're probably not going to like some of my things I'm going to have to say about
We might be joining you
Good.
partially
You know what?
way there, Brian.
It's good that
it was one of those movies, the longer it went on, the more I started to not like it. But anyway, see, he thinks I'm committing blasphemy here.
no, it's good because we've done one film we all hated vaguely, and two films.
So we're actually going to have some disagreements here, or differences of opinion. But anyway, so this is Ghostbusters from 1984. I'll just go do a quick run through of the intro here. So it's directed by Ivan Reitman. The writers were Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. Okay, cinematography, Laszlo Kovacs. Music by Elmer Bernstein. Probably Bernstein. That's probably what
it's the Berenstein Bears.
Yeah, and then we got a cast with Bill Murray, who plays Dr. Peter Venkman, Dan Aykroyd, who plays Dr. Raymond Stantz, Sigourney Weaver, the legend. Sigourney Weaver, who plays Dana Barrett. Harold Ramis, who is Dr. Egon Spengler. Mm-hmm. Rick Moranis. I actually laughed before I even saw him in a scene. I saw him in the credits, and I was like, "Oh, Rick Moranis is in this."
He's going to be goofy in any movie he's in.
He's a weird dude, man.
Yeah,
he's a weird dude.
I'd love to know how he got his start in Hollywood.
I know. How did? He's a weird man. Annie Potts is in there as Janine. I believe she's the secretary girl. William Atherton as Walter Peck. Who have I seen? I was watching Walter Peck in this, and I was like, who have I seen this guy play before? I've definitely seen him in a movie before.
Die Hard.
Is it Die Hard?
He's the reporter in Die Hard that Molly punches out. He's the one on the plane.
Okay. I've never watched Die Hard from beginning to end either.
Holy yeah.
I've seen, but I've seen more of Die Hard than I've seen of this. This is like, when I first watched it, I didn't even remember that Bill Murray was the guy. I thought it was Dan Aykroyd was the main guy in this. So,
I thought this had a bigger cultural impact in America.
I mean, it might have, but it was one of those that just never resonated with me or anyone in my family. But and then to end it off, we got Ernie Hudson, who plays Winston Zeddemore. Ernie Hudson is actually a pretty underrated actor.
We spoke about The Crow before.
The Crow. He actually plays a really. There's a movie that's like pretty bad. It tried to be like the new Jurassic Park. It was. Do you remember the movie Congo?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
The monkey.
Is it older?
Yeah, that would be a good review one day. But Ernie Hudson is in that. And he's actually the best part of that movie, by far.
I haven't watched that since it came out, and I saw it on video or something. And he 1000% is, yeah.
He is he's the only reason to watch that movie.
How old is the movie Congo?
96.
96.
Okay.
So it was. It basically was the monkey version of Jurassic Park. Yeah. And I'm sure they went to the same places to film it too. Like it just looked like Jurassic Park with apes, pretty much.
Apes.
It was probably filmed in Costa Rica.
Oh boy,
could have been. On it. Yeah. All right. So this Ghostbusters was distributed by Columbia Pictures. Its release date was June 8th, 1984. The running time was 105 minutes. The budget was 25 to 30 million. By the way, I get all these little things from the Wikipedia page, so I never dived into why it was 25 to 30 million. We have to like guess where it is in between there.
It's estimates and
I'm sure there's like but most films have like an exact number of what the budget was. You know what I mean?
I'm sure Bill Murray got a lot of that money.
There's a lot of money transferred.
Well, that was the budget. That's not the box office. Check out this box office here, though, Q. $296.6 million against the 30 million. Money. Yes, that is a fuck ton of money.
That's kind of crazy though that it didn't I always thought that this was bigger than the original Batman. or than 89's Batman, rather. I thought this movie would have been bigger, but I guess not.
No, even I underestimated the size of the box office draw for the original Batman. I remember we were all blown away by that.
Yeah,
but even
400.
then, I was like, nah, this probably wasn't as big as Batman. But this is certainly a big number, man.
Huge.
Oh, that for that input to get that output, that is fucking astonishing.
Crazy. Man.
All right, and because this is Craig's pick for the week, he knows this film way better than either of us do. So we're going to give the plot reins over to him today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift over here to the right.
Oh my
Craig,
God.
you are
baby.
you are yes, baby.
You're sandwiched
You
now.
didn't tell me about this. You didn't. Listen.
You are taking center stage, and whenever you are ready, you can take us away, and then we'll chime in whenever there's something of note that we have on our notes. But take us away, sir.
Please chime in. Please chime in. Okay, so film starts. We're outside the New York Library with a very impressive lion statue with some ominous music playing over it. We then cut into the library, and immediately we see our first ghost wearing a purple cardigan, who's going around picking up books, who's dressed like she's from 1905 or something like that. I don't think people dress like that in 1984, but never mind. We have a panning shot of following her going down into the basement level of the library and starts some eerie music. There's a tracking shot following her, and we see some books start flying across shelves. She's ominously turning around. The tracking shot continues to follow her, and then we see the index card drawers start opening, and then all of a sudden the cards start flying out of the drawers.
This part felt like it felt like I was playing in the ghost level in Super Mario 64.
Just like the
music,
and the books going back and forth across too. Yeah, in that one part, yeah. It felt like it a little bit.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they got that from.
That'd be funny.
But this is Super Mario Nintendo 64.
So when it came out in the 90s?
96.
No.
This came out in 96. But yeah, for the books flying across, which does happen on that game.
Yeah.
So she starts running, and it's still following her in a tracking shot. But it's like a maze down there, and then all of a sudden she turns one corner, blue and white lights come on, and you hit a roar, and she's screaming, waving her hands, and then it cuts outside to the campus, and the Ghostbusters symbol comes up. So we've then got Ray Parker Jr.'s brilliant music, brilliant song, went to number one.
I wrote down it took 2.5 minutes because the one thing you do know if you haven't seen Ghostbusters from beginning to end is you do know the theme song. And I was like, I wrote down before I even pressed the play button, I was like, how long is it going to take for the theme song to hit? And here it is, 2.5 minutes.
Didn't they get sued? Didn't they steal the music or something? I'm pretty sure they settled on a lawsuit. Yeah. So go ahead, Craig. You probably know more about it than me.
Yep, the original placeholder song that they wanted, they wanted something like this, was a song called "Love Is the Drug," I believe, by Huey Lewis and the News.
Huey Lewis, I love that.
Yep, and they had about 40 or 50 songs, but they went. Ivan Reitman went with Ray Parker Jr.'s. The reason probably is because it was so similar that Huey Lewis sued Ray Parker Jr. because it was so much of a copy musically, and I believe it was a settlement out of court. So yeah, it was a Huey Lewis song, but that was the placeholder.
Huey Lewis sounded mad. That particular scene you were talking about, though, Craig, where the lady and then she becomes like a monster. I wrote she looked like.
That's like she becomes a monster later.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
So all you see is the woman
Spoiling,
scared and
Brian.
frightened, and she's got she's got the like wind blowing. She hears the roar. Cuts to the outside shot. Okay, and just bear me a second. Yep, we then go to the Department of Psychology on this university campus, and we get to see the outside of Peter Venkman's laboratory door, which has "Burn in Hell Venkman" painted on it, and underneath you have Dr. Peter Venkman, Dr. Ray Stans, and Dr. Egon Spengler. So immediately something might be up with these guys. You then go in. We see into the actual laboratory, and there is a guy with the wildest 80s hair I've ever seen, and a very attractive young lady with Bill Murray. Bill Murray, speaking of hair, he is 33 at this point.
Oh wow!
Wearing those clothes with that hair.
Dude, one thing I love about Craig is he points out actors' age at the time as we're watching them. And yeah, like he looks like he's about 50.
Yeah, I think for 33, I feel like his career kind of got started late too. Bill Murray, because he was the Meatball movie.
Films in like 79. I think there was films in 79.
Meatball.
I haven't seen
that was like his big hit.
I know he was in one that was it an army film? Was that an army film?
Meatball? No. You're thinking of oh god. I'll look it up. Continue on though.
Okay. While you're checking that, he's performing a test with these two subjects.
Stripes.
Thank you. To establish whether negative reinforcement, i.e., getting an electric shock, will increase ESP capabilities. Funnily enough, the guy with crazy hair that he desperately wants to get rid of is constantly getting shocked. And the girl that he would rather have stay is getting everything wrong, but he's telling her that she's getting everything right. To the point of the guy losing it, asking him, what is the point in this? He explains why he's doing this, and he's wanting to know what the effects are. I'll tell you what the effects are. It's pissing me off! He then does one more. He actually gets it right. So this is actually a nice sort of double joke. In all this stress, he actually gets the shape on the card right, and he still zaps him, and he storms off.
Bill Murray's a dog in this movie.
Oh God, he is an absolute hornball.
He was torturing someone and flirting with someone else at the same time.
Yeah, this
character knows how to multitask.
Yeah, he gave me Jack Nicholson vibes at certain parts.
Oh God, that is a great analogy, actually. Yeah, because he's
it's not. No, it's not.
You can hate on him all you want, Brian, but
he is not. He is nowhere close to Jack Nicholson.
He's sick in the head. That's for
Bill Murray plays the same fucking guy in every movie, man.
Yeah, we're not talking about acting, just like his sick mentality, kind of how we were talking about Jack Nicholson with the Joker. Like, I honestly think that Bill Murray's a sarcastic asshole who's probably just a dog, you know?
Yeah, but Jack Nicholson has something that Bill Murray does not. And this will let you know how much I'm not a fan of Bill Murray. Jack Nicholson has charisma.
Fair.
And Bill Murray is lacking in that category.
Bill Murray replaced,
in my opinion, severely. So, anyway, continue.
Well, you can definitely accuse Jack Nicholson of playing Jack Nicholson in quite a few films. I'm going to say that. Doesn't mean I don't love him any less, but Jack Nicholson is the creepy older version of Tom Hanks in that respect, I think. I will say
that one I don't get. Tom Hanks to Jack Nicholson?
They always play the same character. They just play Jack Nicholson is Jack Nicholson in most movies.
Yeah.
You can always just go, no, that's actually Jack Nicholson.
They've changed it up before. I mean, most of the time they feel like they're the same person, but they could change it up.
Tom Hanks has a pretty good acting range. I've seen Tom Hanks in some good stuff.
He has a very underrated acting range, actually. But
I liked him in the Elvis movie a lot. I never could have imagined him in that dirtbag of a role, but he killed it.
I haven't seen that, so I'll take your word for it. But was it Colonel Tom or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, the Colonel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he keeps shocking this guy, and then just lets on to know that there's 75 more cars to go. Gets rid of him. Girl stays. Then Ray comes in, ruining his creepiness and creeping on the girl, and telling him that in the New York Library on Fifth Avenue, 10 people witnessed a free-floating, full-torso vaporous apparition, and is trying to talk him into coming to the library with him. And
he does want to come.
He does, but he doesn't want to come with Ray.
No, he doesn't.
Well, maybe you could give me an hour and a half with this student. I still have this subject. Sorry, subject student. this victim.
Oh God.
Excuse me.
We got this.
We've got this. We'll get this. But Ray talks him into it. So he sits down, starts to ask her to meet him up later. And I was thinking maybe 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. You're a natural. Well, whatever it is. It's just this guy is just laying it on so thick because he wants to be laying something else. Then cuts back to the library. As they're walking.
Wait a minute, hold on. Sorry to stop you. Did you forget something? I have a note here, and I think it was from that scene. Wasn't there like a slap that happened?
Oh, where Ray jumps up.
I literally wrote down, what the hell was that jump slap? He like jump slapped him. Like he was trying to do a slam dunk.
That.
No, he does. He jumps up and it's like a childish frustration because Ray walks in behind the girl's back. He jumps up and he's, "What are you doing, Ray?" He
like jumped up in the air like he was playing like it was a jump shot, and then came back down and smacked. I was like, who slaps like that?
And that is where we got. That is where we got Space Jam from.
Yeah,
that was his Space Jam audition. But no, he does, and it's not the only time he does it again. Similarly soon, and so we go back to the library, and Egon we then first see Egon with a stethoscope on, listening to the underside of a table because of reasons, granted. And then Pete, one of the most this is something you would see anywhere in the UK if you had a friend like that. He starts knocking on the table, and Egon picks up a massive book and slams it on the table while he's got a stethoscope in his ear. While he's
probably ruptures his fucking eardrum.
Yeah. That actually made me laugh.
That is such a British thing to do, like British guy thing to do to your mates, just being an absolute dick. We then get one of the best lines in the film, not the best, but one of the best lines in the film, where they start to walk as they're discussing what's happened here. You have Peter saying, "You know what, Egon? This reminds me of the time that you tried to drill a hole through your head. That would have worked if you hadn't stabbed me." Just you're starting to get, with very little exposition, you're starting to see who these people are. You've got Ray, who's super enthusiastic, Peter, who's an absolute pussy hound.
Pussy hound.
He is. He's not taking it too seriously. He's sort of going with the flow. And you've got Egon, who is so clinically scientific that even the thought, I think I can drill a hole through my head and it will work, he will just argue it with his colleague, with his friend.
Yeah.
His friend stopped him from doing it, but he's like, no, that would have worked.
Yeah, that's something I actually really appreciated about this film, was how they introduced all the characters. You immediately got who they were and what their role was in the movie. I think they did it quick and they did it well, to the point where you knew what everyone was there to do. I like that.
No, absolutely. And that's the same with every single character, which we'll get to later with Janine and Winston and everyone, Sigourney, Rick Moranis. All of them have that. So then they start interrogating the librarian who experienced the ghost, who's lying down, and she's describing, it didn't have legs, but it had arms because it was reaching out for me. Ray's over-enthusiasticness. I can't wait to see this thing. Forgive me, Americans, for my accent. I apologize.
It's actually good.
It's actually pretty good.
It sounded nothing like Ray, though. It sounded nothing like him. But then, just even more of what we were just talking about. Venkman, I'm just going to ask you some standard questions here. He asks her if there's any history of psychotic or mental illness in her family.
The scene is crazy.
Which she replies, well, my uncle thought he was Saint Jerome. It's a hard yes. Are you using alcohol or drugs at the moment? No. Are you, Alice, menstruating right now?
That shit killed me.
Yeah, that
was a wild scene that could not be used in today's films. Like, no one would have the balls to run that.
I went, as soon as he said that, I went, oh, shit!
Yeah.
And the fellow librarian who brought them in, what has that got to do with it? Back off, man. I'm a scientist. My notes, I put in my notes, he is asking this woman if she's menstruating right now. You are not a scientist. That ship has sailed, mate. That was not a scientific question. So we then get Egon come back in with his PK meter, the psychokinetic energy meter, and it says it's moving. So they start to follow Egon. They go down the stairs. They find the index cards, and they are covered in ectoplasmic residue. Any jokes?
That's not the term I had for it.
I may have wrote down nut.
I wrote ghost cum.
Yep.
Ghost cum.
Little ghost nut for you.
Yeah.
And so Venkman has to collect some in a petri dish and just gets it everywhere and is flinging it everywhere. So they are following this thing like it's a GPS. And then they eventually come upon this ghost who is a floating woman reading a book.
Sorry, can I butt in for a second here? There was a line here that I actually liked, and it was just a goofy, quick throwaway line. And it was Dan Aykroyd, and he said,
listen.
They're going, listen, do you smell something? I love that. I love that. Anyway,
keep in mind, I don't think that any of these guys have ever seen a ghost at this point. So the fact that they have all this gear that like supposedly tracks ghosts was a little bit tacky and cheesy to me. Just want to throw that out there. Like, I get that that's like what they're into, but it's like they're just like fully prepared, you know?
I think they're working on theories of how they would catch it. So they've
that can make sense.
Technology, but it does work.
I'll give you that.
There's nothing in this that indicates Egon is anything less than like a bit of a genius.
Yeah,
as you see later on in the film with the colander, and you can see the dog on the actual camera screen, on the monitor screen. So Bateman then tries to talk to the ghost. So where are you from originally? And gets shushed like every true librarian should. So they go back, they recoup. The Ghostbusters have to recoup and try and figure out what are they going to do. And this is the second slap. So what do we do? Ray pulls something out I would think a calculator, because it's 1980s technology. It can't be anything else. He pulls out a calculator, starts typing something in, and he immediately slaps it out of his fucking hand. So then having no idea what to do when they've actually encountered a ghost for the first time in real life. Ray has a plan. The plan is slowly creep up beside it when the ghost can probably see it in his peripherals. 1, 2, 3, get her! And the ghost just turns into a fucking monster.
The ghost turns into one of the CGI baboons from Gladiator 2.
Yo, great reference.
It absolutely does, just with a wig on.
It reminded me of this Pee Wee Herman movie I think I watched growing up, where like Pee Wee Herman, I think, is driving a truck, and there's this ghost in the road, and it like spazzes out and does like that.
Large Marge, you're thinking of.
Yes, that's what that reminded me of when I saw it. But CGI baboon works damn great too. That thing's teeth has continued.
That's what did it for me.
Death.
The teeth reminded me of it the most. Yeah.
Okay, so outside of the library, they run out of the library. You see them running down the stairs. The guy who brought them in is chasing after them. They're holding their old school camera equipment. The guy's running after them, asking what it was. They are terrified beyond unbelief at what they've just seen. So probably about 20 minutes later, when they've all managed to calm down a little bit, they're walking through a park, and you just hear Pete just complete typical guy behavior. Get her. That was your idea. Just taking the piss out, just knocking him down a bit. But then you have Egon saying that it wasn't a complete waste of time, because he actually thinks they now have the information to indefinitely catch a ghost.
Was it the ghost cum?
If you can get the ghost cum, that is definitely one way to catch them.
Dude, that shit was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
And I felt like this might be like spoiler for down the road. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I felt like multiple times throughout this movie, like Bill Murray was playing with the ghost cum in some sort of way.
Yeah, he loved it. There's definitely a point where he tasted that ghost cum.
Oh, cool. Come on.
There's no doubt in my mind. He's a sexual deviant.
Craig, keep going. I'm just running to the bathroom, but I can still hear, so just keep going.
Yeah, not a problem, mate. Okay.
All that ghost cum got Brian excited.
He didn't say what was going to the bathroom for.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance you can get when you've got a baby. Okay.
Good lordy. Go ahead. Sorry.
So saying that they have got a chance of catching and definitely holding a ghost gets Peter excited, because all of a sudden this becomes a financial proposition. So Egon being that serious and saying that this is a possibility, he's then rewarded, and it's a very subtle thing, he's rewarded with a candy bar or chocolate bar. I'm not entirely sure what it is, not knowing my American candy bars, but there is a bit of a theme that Egon likes to snack throughout this film. And when he hands it over, I think it is supposed to be intentional, because it then shows Ray's face, and Ray just sees him doing it, and it just like warms his heart. You see a big goofy smile on Ray's face. Okay, so getting back, they then go back into their lab, where they're meeting by Dean Yeager, who is there with some removal guys taking the equipment out. And he drops a bomb on them that they will no longer be receiving their grant. And Venkman, saying this is preposterous, is then told how Dean Yeager knows that he thinks science is a hustle, how substandard their works are, and
what was their actual title? Like, what were they supposed to be doing there? Like, what were they researching? I know they said that the kids loved it, yada yada yada, but like, what the hell were they actually doing there?
Well, he says later he's got a degree in parapsychology. So I would think paranormal, some sort of paranormal.
So like Agent Scully type stuff.
Yeah, yes, something like that. Well, more Mulder.
More Mulder. There you go.
Yeah.
He's trying to be the American Derek Acora.
Oh, don't! Oh, good God! Don't bring this guy up.
I don't know who that is, but I'll do some research.
No, you don't.
He's the greatest Brit who ever lived.
Besides Craig.
I was going to thank you. I was just going to say thank you, mate. Me and Phil, the only two Brits you know, and you going with Derek Cora. Here's mine.
I never knew him personally, so I just think he's amazing.
Yeah, I think Dick Van Dyke is the greatest Brit ever. Just sounds so genuine when he talks, you know?
Oh, God.
Dude, you're cutting deep here.
Yes. Happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke for fucking not dying yesterday and getting a year older.
Damn.
Setting English-American relations back about fucking 3 decades.
That's actually the truest sentence probably of that whole thing.
I adore Dick Van Dyke, but yeah, that's okay. So Dean Yeager, as a kid, I could not stand this guy. Watching this as an adult, it's like this guy's got a lot of points, and this is I would think maybe if Brian is the way he is with this film, from what he said, I thought you might actually agree with me on this one. He's saying what a bad scientist he is, how sloppy his results are, how poor his executions are.
Yeah, I mean, I just wrote down like evil guy in a suit cliche who's trying to shut everything down. But like, yeah, from what he actually said in the movie, like he's got some points, but at the same time, like you're going to see a movie about some goofy people tracking ghosts down and
it's a comedy
and stuff. So yeah. So it wasn't it wasn't like I was like, well, this
guy's right.
This is the voice of reason in this film or anything.
Yeah.
What he does, what he says that Venkman sees it as a hustle, which he does, because we've already established in the film,
up until this point, before the movie started, he'd probably right about that. Because no ghost have ever. That's like you said in that last scene. That was oh shit. We actually finally get to see a ghost.
Yeah, it's like these guys hit Bitcoin before Bitcoin was a thing. You know what I mean? Like they just so happened to kind of get into this right as the New York apocalypse was happening.
Yeah, that is a terrific point. But no, he says he sees it as a hustle. He's sloppy. They don't produce any results, and he goes and he simply says, "You are a poor scientist." Like he actually has merit in gaining results from scientific
he has standards.
Research. Yeah, and he seems like he actually cares. And I thought, watching it, just doing a rewatch and just being critical, I thought he does have a point. But also, I'm just so in love with these characters. I think I was just blinded. I had my blinders on watching it all the time because I was never watching it critically. I was just watching it for enjoyment. But it doesn't diminish that. But it's just something I noticed. Okay, so when they get kicked off the campus, Ray's lamenting about being kicked off. He's saying that the universities just gave us money and they didn't have to produce anything. They would just be given money to do that. So essentially, they were just being given a constant stipend for the,
Yeah, it's a grant. It's basically that it works that way with. Basically, you have an investor who basically
they just want to see what they come up with,
see what they
can do.
Yeah, okay. And if anything comes of it, then great. If not, then we gave it some money for a while. Yeah.
Just like imagine trying to meet these group of guys and being like, "Yeah, we'll give you guys a grant."
Like, oh my god! I wouldn't give
that. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't give them a dime.
You got the cheap car salesman, Bill Murray.
I've got. Do you know what I had that written down, but I didn't use it. I wrote it down and deleted it. That is exactly what he is. He is.
Yeah, he's a car salesman.
I had con man. I deleted that. Used car salesman. I didn't know what to put it as, and it is sort of that meets game show host. And
yeah, like she says.
She says that. He's sort of a younger Bobby the Brain Heenan for Brian.
Another wrestling reference, I love it.
He is so like that. He's just got that. He's so quick. He's so on the ball, but so in it for himself.
He's a dog.
He is a sloppy dog. So lamenting on being kicked out, saying they gave them money, they didn't expect anything, then points out to Bill Murray, "You've never worked in the the private sector. They expect results." And they are drinking out of a brown bottle, which I've been watching this film since I was 4 or 5. The only brown bottles you ever get in the UK that you would drink out of are cough medicine bottles. For years.
It's probably. Is it? Wait, I can't remember. Is it? Does the bottle look plastic or glass?
Glass.
Glass. It's
Yes.
definitely whiskey then.
Yeah.
But all of our bottles are generally clear unless it's red wine where the bottles are green.
Yeah. Okay.
I swear to God, for years I thought they were drinking cough medicine, and
just getting fucked up.
Sipping on some scissor.
Yeah, sipping on some scissor.
Apparently that's a thing, though.
God, the Ghostbusters are the goddamn 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah. Here they call it lean.
So yeah, apparently I'm Nostradamus because I never expected drinking cough syrup to actually be, a way to get your fucking rocks off.
Yeah, give it a try, dude. It's great. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
No.
Just kidding, guys.
No.
All right.
No.
Oh yeah. For all the Brits, yeah, I'm going out tomorrow and buying some California so I can get fucked up.
That's like, it's not to put a stop to this, but that's like, I remember I watched in college I was on because I played baseball in college. We were on a road trip somewhere, and the town that we were in was a dry town. It didn't have any alcohol whatsoever. So a couple of the guys on the team actually drove to a pharmacy and picked up like 2 bottles of fucking NyQuil.
Oh.
And started drinking that just to trip out on that. And I literally am watching this. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's got to be so bad for you. What if you drink too much and it just stops your heart? Yeah. Like,
that guy's
I don't know how strong it is, but I looked as soon as I saw that, I was like, dude, that looks like a terrible idea.
Yeah,
but
I can't stand the taste of
witnessing
NyQuil
it in person. As I witnessed it in person, I do know it is a thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, it's nothing I'm going to do. But yeah, if I was going to California, sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
These two can't. It's a
Get rid of your cough and trip balls.
I've had a cough the last few weeks, so that would be killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Holy crap.
Right. So where were we? Yeah, so they're outside where they've said the public sector expect results. Ray then starts talking about forget about Stanford and MIT, which I have heard of these places through my American media consumption. And I'm not sure how it works in terms of ages, but I'm thinking, how old are these guys supposed to be?
Yeah, right?
Are they supposed to be 24 to maybe 26 if they've done one university, they've got their degrees and then they're going on to do something else at these prestigious colleges? Because these guys, well, I've got the age, so Bill Murray's 33.
Looks like he's pushing 50.
Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd is 31 in this.
He looks young. He looks really
He actually
young.
is the one that looks young, yeah.
He does, in fairness, he does look
weird
young.
to know. I did not know that he wrote the film. I did not know that until I researched it a little.
Yes. Well, originally, we'll go into this now because I'm not sure where to put it in. He wrote the film. It was supposed to be a film intended for him, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy. Was the original idea.
Really?
And it was supposed to be called Ghost Smashers, I believe.
Ghost Smashers?
That's
hence the ghosts come.
That might explain some of it.
Oh, dude.
Ghost Smashers.
Smash some
XXX.
ghosts. Oh my god.
Buy it at your local adult.
Hold on though. Hold on. Wait. So
there is. Well, we do get maybe it was that because we do get some of maybe there's a scene that made it to this film later on.
what's so back to Craig, back to the Eddie Murphy and John Belushi.
Yes.
So who were they supposed to play? What characters?
Well,
I would have taken either of them and replaced Bill Murray. Well, that's just me. It was, but
I would think John Belushi might be Bill Murray, but I can't say. I know for a fact, say for obvious reasons. But yeah, Ernie Hudson came in to replace Eddie Murphy.
okay.
So there's quite a few things. We'll just get them out of the way now. Just as trivia, get them out of the way now. So this is how different the original plot was until Ivan Reitman came in. So it was intended to take place in the future. So you have many groups of intergalactic Ghostbusters doing this. So it was an interdimensional, intergalactic sort of pest control. So it wasn't even just them their origin story. It was pest control essentially, but instead of rats, it's ghosts.
Okay.
Ivan Reitman said it would cost them like $200 million to film. So
investors were not throwing down on that shit.
It sounds like it would have made a good Marvel movie.
Yeah, right. Or Fast and the Furious, like 15.
Yeah. Oh, come on, it can't be that ridiculous. Not even that sounds as ridiculous as that's not as ridiculous as it.
You get tired of Earth? Well, we're going to space, motherfucker.
Wait, Samuel Jackson's in this now?
I don't know. It's look.
I'm teasing.
I've watched probably like only a couple Fast and Furious movies, so it's on like 17 now or
I don't know. I think they actually did go to space in one, unless there was just some bullshit that I saw.
Never saw that one.
They did.
I was long gone before that one came out.
So we do get Jim Belushi being honored as Slimer, the onion head monster, as he was originally called in this film, which was supposed to be the spirit of John Belushi eating and drinking everything. So they're drinking their brown bottle liquid, whatever it is, outside. And Pete then says, call it luck, call it karma, call it fate. They were destined to get thrown out of that dump. And Ray points out that the ecto-containment unit that him and Egon have planned will take a lot of bread, but where is that money going to come from? And drinking out of this bottle, Venkman says, I don't know. I don't know. Cut to them all coming out of a bank, suited and booted, looking sharp. And Venkman telling Ray that he's never going to forget this. Ray in disbelief at what just happened in the bank. My parents left me that house. I was born there. Venkman reassuring him, it's fine. It's very common for people to have 3 mortgages these days.
3 mortgages.
Ray, not being happy at hearing that, says, "You 19%. You didn't even haggle with the guy." Egon at his calculator. Ray, for your information, the interest for the first 5 years alone comes to $95,000. So we then cut to the inside of a very shoddy Ghostbusters firehouse. So Venkman and Egon are with the retailer, and they're completely talking it down. Venkman is being quite casual, saying it's quite expensive for a real fixer-upper opportunity. Egon, being very clinical and scientific about it, completely tears it down, saying about how shocking and substandard the structure is, the electricity is, all the wiring will need redoing. It doesn't have enough wiring to suit their electrical needs. Then cut to Ray at the top of a fireman's pole asking if it still works. It's gravity.
Then he trusts it. Full send.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gravity. The pole still works. Well, yes, gravity still works. So you have Ray coming down the pole, exclaiming how great he thinks the place is. Again, total over-enthusiasm with Ray. Suggesting that the guys stay there for the night. to try it out to get used to it, even though the place looks like a bomb went off. It looks like Al Qaeda recently invaded. So then the very smug retailer is looking at them, and Peter says that they'll take it.
I mean, you and your boys all go to look at a place together. You realize there's already a stripper pole installed. Your brain just runs wild. How could you not get the place?
Well, and it's on 2 different levels.
2 different levels. Lots of pole opportunities.
Yeah. So you can look up.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so we then get some very ominous music, and it cuts to Dana's apartment. So we get the first meeting of Dana. As the music is playing and we look down on the apartment, we see the grotesque of the demon dog. So we'll be getting used to seeing that later. You see her getting out of a taxi with a cello case and a few other bags. And as she's walking through the floor of her apartment, as soon as she gets within 3 feet of the door, fucking Rick Moranis, Canada's hero other than Bret Hart, comes flying out of his door.
Ryan Reynolds.
And Ryan Reynolds. Why you mentioned Ryan Reynolds?
He's king of Canada, dude.
He's now Canada's.
That's Brian's favorite. Yeah.
No.
Well, he absolutely is. Look up.
He's part of the 3 that I can't stand.
He's done more for Canada in his Deadpool films than the Canadian tourist
Prime
board
Minister.
has in the last 20 years. The guy is
probably right,
and he makes a hell of a good gin.
I'm not. I don't think it's even over here.
You know what? I have a bone to pick with you, Craig, because you mentioned Rick Moranis, but you didn't mention who's playing Dana, which is the legendary Sigourney Weaver. You mentioned Rick Moranis, but not Sigourney Weaver. That's blasphemy.
I would naturally assume that everybody would know who Sigourney Weaver is.
They better.
We only have cultured people here.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis might go a little bit under the radar. Everybody knows Sigourney.
I didn't think that she was like that good looking until I saw this film. Maybe it's her being possessed by a demon that made her more attractive. But yeah, I don't know what it was, but she hit different in this movie. The what?
She did not need to be possessed by a demon. She's attractive.
Oh no, it did it for me.
Oh no, the demon. You know,
shooting some aliens helps her case too.
Yeah, she's building quite the resume.
Yeah, she is.
In 2 years' time, she's going to be back on the Nostromo. Okay, so as soon as she's trying to walk past, he runs out the door, claims for it to be he's waiting for his DoorDash delivery from the drugstore, which is just crazy to hear as a Brit. You're getting drugs delivered, like a delivery from the drugstore.
Oh, they're on every corner here, my friend.
Yeah. In America, they like to just hand out opioids.
On a serious note, we're like one of only like a couple countries that actually advertises pharmaceutical drugs on our televisions.
One of 2, yeah.
Yeah. I think the other one's New Zealand. Yeah. And even in New Zealand, it's like very constricted. Here it's like a free-for-all. So it's crazy. Anyway.
You should never be asking your doctor about drugs. Your doctor should be telling you.
Exactly.
They spent years at medical school for a reason. But as they come out and he's talking to her and he's trying to outline how fit he is, so he's saying it was just a bunch of vitamins and what have you. Tells her that he's just had a really good workout wearing his tracksuit by putting it on 2 times the speed. So 10 minutes and got a really good workout. So unless he was doing it at 2 times the speed, it sounds like he's clueless. Despite being an accountant, he should know how numbers work. And I wrote down Sigourney Weaver looks like a fucking Amazonian next to him.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what it is.
But I don't think Sigourney Weaver's particularly that tall. I didn't look it up, but I don't think she's...
No, it's just Rick Moranis is super short. Super short.
Yeah. He was looking for a tree to climb.
I think he's only like little bit taller than Peter Dinklage.
So just too tall to not be in the new Snow White then.
Oh boy.
So he invites her in for a mineral water, which she declines. So he says, following her though, even though she's declined and she's walking away from him. Oh, that's okay then. I'll take a rain check. He then invites her to a party that he's throwing only for her clients, but still feels the need to throw in, even though you do your own taxes, but you shouldn't really do that. Which is, again, as a Brit, that's a very weird thing to hear because we get our taxes just automatically deducted from our pay, but doing your own taxes and then having someone tell you not to do your own taxes.
You want to know something messed up about here? They deduct taxes from you already, and then at the end of the year, you have to do your taxes again.
Yeah.
That's how it works here.
Yeah, we're kind of... It ain't it here.
Yeah.
This is why I think that's so messed up. If you get it wrong, the IRS will tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile,
and then they'll ask you for double that.
Right, and meanwhile, the Pentagon just failed their 7th audit in a row.
Yep.
And nothing will happen. They won't get their bombs taken away or anything.
Not to mention they have secret programs that they don't tell the public about that take billions of dollars to fund from taxpayers and then refuse to tell us what it's about.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a little too political.
I'm so sorry. You're right.
If for the viewers watching this, you can tell right off the bat that at least the Americans on this show, we're very anti-government here.
Yes.
So
yes.
Well, it's the fact. Here's my issue with that scheme. They know that you got your taxes wrong, so they know what it must be. So you don't need to do your taxes. So it sounds like the IRS is just some sort of...
They're playing a game to get you.
Yeah.
Shell fund.
Whole game of gotcha.
So...
All right, back to the ghost.
Back to Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
Weaver trying to get into an apartment. So apropos of nothing, he then says, after inviting her to this party, "Oh, that reminds me, you shouldn't keep your TV on too loud." Why that reminded him that her TV was on too loud? This guy is on the spectrum. There's no way that anything reminds him of that.
It also sounds like he's a fucking creep.
He's definitely a creep, beating his meat outside of her fucking door.
Outside of her door.
Oh, I hear that shower running. I can hear it.
No, I didn't. I didn't say it. I did have the notes. Her creepy neighbor. I put her creepy neighbor. He's an absolute little creep. And then tries to explain that he calls another guy a creep for reporting the TV being too loud.
Yep.
Then she said she didn't think she left it on. So he then goes to tell her that he climbed out on the ledge to try and plug the cable. What? They're on the 22nd floor, and he's going out on the ledge. What the fuck is this guy doing?
I get some of that Amazonian poon.
Yeah, that stuff.
In the creepiest way possible.
that must feel like warm, silky velvet. Seriously. And he's also telling her that he turns his TV up. Just trying to throw him up, and she just can't put up with his bullshit anymore. And she's like, "Bye, Lewis," and just fucking slams the door in his face.
Yeah,
and that's the end of that scene. So a TV is on, and as luck would have it, we've got a Ghostbusters TV advert on. So the Ghostbusters in the most 1980s.
I just love that they're on the television like, hey,
instantly.
You got a ghost problem when no ghosts have ever shown up in this universe so far. Where are the people you want to see?
We're ready to believe.
Well, that's a lie. That one in the one scene, but that's it so far, you know?
It was like one of those, is it the cable network where you can have your own TV channel or your own TV show? Public access network, is that one thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems so like that, but it's in New York. And a fun, interesting fact, that number...
it was just 555, right? 5555?
If you took the 555 up at the start, though, it wasn't just all the fives. and you put 1-800 in that, and then call that number, you'd actually get a message. It would be either Dan Aykroyd or Bill Murray talking. They set it up so if you did call it,
it still does that.
Really?
not still, but at the time it did. So when people rang that number, it actually had recorded messages for them, which was a great little marketing play. And I think they said they had something like.
I think that's actually pretty cool.
It's really neat. A way
That's
for the
pretty
people to interact with these characters. I think that's super neat.
Well, they're not interacting. They're interacting with recordings, though.
Yeah, but still,
like if you
take your kids to the movie,
if you actually dial the number in the movie, you actually get something out of it, even if it's a recording. You know, that part I think is pretty cool.
Other people have done that, but I think that's the earliest I've heard of it being done. I can't think of anything earlier. I've heard of other things doing it.
Oh yeah, Beautiful Boy. They gave a number to the suicide hotline at the end of it.
Did they? That's fantastic. No joke there. That's brilliant.
No, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
But she's watching it, and it's cheesy, and she's dismisses it. You know, she's a professional musician. She's doing well in her life. No need to watch. She sort of curiously watches it, but then just knocks the TV off afterwards. Goes to unpack her shopping, her groceries, and she puts down some eggs and some Stay Puft marshmallows. So the first little hint there of what comes later. And then all of a sudden, the lid pops open on the eggs, and the eggs start to pop out of their shells and start cooking on the counter, which I have to admit, I've tried looking it up. I couldn't find an answer. I have no idea how they did that. That is quite a good effect.
Maybe I'm trying to think here.
They could have heated up the stone.
Yeah, because it doesn't take too much to cook eggs, really.
Yeah.
No, but to get them to pop out like that, like to burst out of the shell.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That was pretty cool.
They probably use the same tech that they did for Alien. You know, instead of a chest burster, it was just an egg popping out of it.
Well, no, but they're actual eggs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's actually I thought it was a great. Visually,
I thought the most noteworthy part of that was Sigourney Weaver sees a Ghostbuster ad, and less than a minute later, she has a paranormal egg problem.
Well, we've got to keep the plot
funny.
We've got to keep the plot running.
Yeah.
So she sees that, she's horrified by it, as anyone would be, and then looking at this on a cooking island, she hears the noise behind her coming from her fridge. Turns around to her fridge, slowly opens it, and it is a portal. It's a Doctor Strange portal to another dimension. It is a fucking far off pyramid with some really freaky, ominous clouds going on, and you can see two demon dogs. And then all of a sudden, somehow it super zooms into one of their faces with a light bulb in the back of its mouth, screaming Zool. And I never even really know. The first time I ever saw that, I just thought it was roaring. I didn't hear the word Zool. But she screams and then flees.
Probably drinking too much cough
I didn't know
syrup.
what was. I was so confused as to what was in that fridge. I was like, "What am I looking at here?" And then I see the demon dog, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
It was weird. Like I don't know. I mean, I feel like they could have done some freaky practical effects there instead of going the full CG whatever that was.
Right.
I wasn't.
It wasn't
I know
CGI.
whatever it was. It just looked. It wasn't for me, man. I don't know. I thought it was a little too cheesy for my taste.
I actually thought the demon dog at least looked like okay. Coming up though, there's some part with the demon dog where I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh God, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But for now, I was like, "All right."
I think the design. I think the actual physical design of them, where it's just there and it's just being controlled. It's a static model that's been moved, like the head's been manipulated. I think it looks fantastic. I still do to this day. I think it looks absolutely terrifying. Obviously, the visual effects when we're talking how to manipulate things, it is 1984.
Yeah,
I will say that. So anyway, we cut from Dane slamming the door on her fridge to the Ghostbusters fire station with the shittiest logo ever for a business being put up, which is just a white plank with word Ghostbusters. The guy's putting it up, and Peter's thinking, people won't just drive by it and not notice, do you think? It's like, there's nothing that's giving anything away there. And then from the shittiest sign ever to the shittiest automobile ever, Ray drives up this hearse, which he gets out. It only costs them $4,800, but it needs everything apparently except the windows, the steering wheel, and the seats. Everything else in this fucking car he's replacing. But they've got their new Ecto 1, which is just going to need quite a bit of work doing. So they do cut to inside, and it has actually been all cleaned up. It actually looks like, a place, somewhere you can have a place of business. And we first get our first sign up Annie Potts. So we've got Janine Melnitz sat behind the desk reading a magazine, doing absolutely nothing, with a computer and a phone that the computer's not even switched on. We see Venkman going up to her asking if there's any calls, any messages, any customers, to which the answer is all no. So he then said, just out of just slight frustration, well, type something, will you? We're paying for this stuff. And then tells her not to stare at him like that. You've got the bug eyes, because she has these massive 1980s glasses on.
Yeah, she does. She's also got a very thick New York accent going on.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, we are New York, though, so it makes sense.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, this film is... New York is a character in this film. It really is like a third character in this film. But, yeah, super, super heavy. No, Dr. Venkman. New York accent. So he then says he's going to be in his office, and apologizes for the bug eye thing. His office is just the space directly behind her. The only thing separating them is one single, filing cabinet. Which I just thought was quite funny when he says he's going to be in his office, and he's
right there.
Okay. As soon as he sits down, we then get a really good visual gag of Egon coming up from underneath the table. And she says, I could tell you're very handy, which clearly not doing it. I thought that was a really funny joke. And he comes up from underneath the table. Excuse me, guys.
No, you're good.
And she's just she is desperate to make small talk with him. Obviously, she's, crushing on him a little bit. Assumes that he reads quite a lot. And he immediately just shuts her down with "print is dead," which I thought was...
He has that lack of social interaction. Like that piece in his brain is not there,
Yeah, he's definitely on the spectrum here.
He's got that Sheldon vibe about him.
Yeah, definitely. She then totally ignores it. Says she thinks it's a great way to spend her time, but people think she's too intellectual. So this sounds like she's talking about guys that she's dated, I would think. And then she just throws in, it's like a Tinder dating profile. I also play racquetball. Do you have any hobbies? I collect spores, molds, and fungus. Which
I got that line written down. Yeah, I actually, that made me laugh.
That was good.
She's trying to hit on me. I collect spores, mold, and fungus.
I'm
like, oh my god, she's got to be dripping right now.
She's sliding off that chair, mate. So after all that happens, Dana then comes in, and Peter show jumps like he's on a horse over the barriers to get to her first to talk to her. And Dana's coming to get some help after seeing their extremely well-timed TV advert. And they have some probes on the side of her head, Egon establishes that she definitely thinks she's telling the truth, and someone like her who has everything going right in her life is incredulous. Why would somebody make up something like this?
I do like how they're sorry.
No, go.
I like how they're very skeptical. Like, even though, they want the ghost thing and they're here for it, and you could tell that they're trying to make money, at least Bill Murray's character. But the other guys are still very much so like, it's probably this, it's probably that. Like, she probably doesn't have a ghost. It doesn't just seem like they're looking to get money out of her at this point, I like that about the characters.
Well, it's process of elimination, and I think being good people, they're not looking to just like take them along for a ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone vulnerable comes in and just milk them for all they're worth.
I'd milk her. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you should let her milk you. You got it wrong.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Yes, I could, Brian. I actually could. You just need to give me the right equipment.
Just give me the teat.
Sorry.
Considering you've got a baby, I have to be so careful what I say. Okay, but they do discuss what things they should look like because so they should look at. So she's given them the name Zool. So they go through what references they should look through, as in Tobin's Spirit Guide, which becomes a mainstay throughout all the Ghostbusters films. And how to sort of research this. Peter then suggests going back to her apartment and checking her apartment out. So this pussy hound just cannot be stopped, even in front of his work colleagues and friends, and in front of money that they desperately need. He just can't keep his mouth shut. So they go to Dana's apartment, and this is where he is just full bore creep.
This whole scene is a little. He's just very creepy. Like, this whole scene kind of made me a little bit uncomfortable just with his character, because like there's one thing about like being persistent, but like he was not trying to take no for an answer. It made me dislike his character a little bit more, if I'm being honest.
Oh no, she points it out when she calls him like a game show host. Like,
yeah,
he is very theatrical in just obviously he's completely after one thing, and it's not catching a ghost. It's catching something else she might have.
Syphilis.
No, God
Syphilis.
Damn it, you fuckwad.
Syphilis.
He fucking did it again. It's number 4 in a row. We've done 4. We're batting 1,000 with the syphilis. Oh God, I hate you. I fucking hate you, Quintano. Fucking goddamn it,
mate. Well done. How are we gonna get syphilis into Home Alone? There's got to be a way.
No, you can't do it
unless you bring up Michael Jackson. You're kind of fucked,
No. All right, continue. Keep going. Go.
Go, Fred. So he's walking around with. I don't even know what this thing is supposed to be. It looks like the sort of thing you'd spray on a plant. You use to spray on a plant to get rid of bugs.
Yeah,
it's got a little hand pump, and it's never explained. It's a total inaccuracy. Sorry, inaccurate.
I feel like all of their gizmos are either like not explained or just briefly explained, and it's not enough.
Yeah, as long as you know they have a genius on their team, you're like, you just created it. Similar to the Joker and the Batman. It's like with these older movies, you kind of just got to shrug your shoulders and be like, you know what? Let the cheese roll.
This technology looks about 300 years old, though. He's just squeezing a pump and walking around. He even asked him, "Do you know how you? Do you know how to use that thing?" Well, I think so. But he's just walking around as just any reason to perv on her. He
Goes
walks
into her
a
bedroom.
Well, nothing ever happened there. What a crime. Which I actually thought was a pretty funny line.
It is. That was good.
And that's when she calls him a game show host. He then goes over to the fridge. So
I actually, sorry, but this is going to be messed up. But I got to stress how much I am not a fan of Bill Murray. I wrote, Sigourney Weaver calls Bill Murray a game show host, but he would be bad at that too.
Is there a film that you do like him in?
I mean, I like the film Caddyshack.
Okay.
But
I love Caddyshack.
It's great, but even then, I'm like, fuck it.
Have you seen St. Vincent?
No, I have not.
You check that out. You might like him in that. He's still Bill Murray, but it's a really good film.
I just feel like he's a charisma vacuum. He says he has no expression. It's just not there for me, man.
I like him in Osmosis Jones too, but you're right. He always does play that same character. That dirtball kind of mentality.
Not like Zombieland.
I like Zombieland, but he plays Bill Murray. So that's all the more reason for Brian to fucking hate him. You know?
No, I wasn't a fan of Zombieland.
What?
No.
I'm not a big fan of Jesse Eisenberg, but I still
he's a freak. He's a freak.
I mean, I checked that out for who's the other guy in it?
Woody Harrelson. Oh no,
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah,
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah,
I love Woody Harrelson.
Yeah,
but it wasn't my
not your cup of
tea,
movie,
man.
Not your cup of.
We all got our preferences, but with anything Bill like it's like the three that because I don't think we've established the three for me yet.
Yeah, let's get the three.
If there's any movie with like Bill Murray, Ryan Reynolds, or Shia LaBeouf, then the chances are I'm not going to be fond of it.
My number one most hated is The Rock, except for in Walking Tall, the remake of The Walking Tall. I like a lot.
I am
the early one,
and me and Craig knows this. I'm a big Rock fan. I totally get it. Because he plays the same. He's basically the same person in every movie.
He plays The Rock. He's not playing a character.
I totally get it.
Okay.
He's playing The Rock. He is. There's a reason that Black Adam completely bombed.
I would have liked to see him and Henry Cavill go at it as Superman. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah,
I could imagine Henry Cavill not putting up with Rock's renowned bullshit on set.
The Rock is a dick on set. If you ever watch any interviews and people talking about him, no one ever has anything pleasant to say about him on set.
No,
I'm sure there's some.
Yeah,
but he's garnered a pretty bad reputation in Hollywood. But I'll tell you, I think it's because he's using the same mentality that he uses in wrestling, which is if somebody's talking bad about you, then he uses it as like a character.
Yeah,
but then he's got to realize when the camera's off in Hollywood, then you just
look like a dick.
You need to stop being a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I totally get that with The Rock.
He does a lot for charity.
I'm not even I like The Rock, and I don't even like his movies really. So.
No, I mean, I can think of a few that are good, but not because he's in them. I can think of a few movies I enjoyed that he's in.
Stupid question, but growing up, I thought The Rock was black. Does he have black in him, or is it just straight Hawaiian?
Yes.
Okay.
That's black.
He's half black.
Okay.
He's half black, half Samoan.
Samoan, that's it.
Yeah.
Which is why he's got all the tribal shit. So, depending on what day of the week he is, he's like the most black guy in America.
That's what I'm saying. In like Walking Tall, the 2000, I think that's the year it came out. I just remember him like just being this big black guy. Is how my child brain remembered The Rock.
But when Disney, drives a truckload of money up to his house, he's Samoan as fuck.
Yeah,
he's got the tattoos to prove it.
Yeah,
so
represent Moana.
Yeah,
he's actually having a great end of the year right now with the 2 movies that he just put out.
Yeah, Moana and then the Santa one with Chris Evans.
Red One, I've heard that's been tanking. And
Yeah.
the reviews are
They dumped
awful.
Not in the beginning. In the beginning, they were it was killing.
What is it called? Red One?
Red One. But yeah, I've heard that. As far as I know, that film has been bombing really hard. I mean, Moana's doing gangbusters at the moment, but
yeah. And he's actually going to be in the live action Moana and everything. But I hardly ever watch those. But anyway, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. Okay, so in the apartment, back at the fridge, he opens it up. Look at all the junk food. So he opens it up, and it's not junk. Like the first thing you see is like a Diet Cola and like salads and whatever. It's like no junk food in there. And also, I thought when she had the Stay Puft marshmallows, I thought Sigourney Weaver's character with that figure is not buying a massive bag of marshmallows. What the fuck is she buying them for?
She was in shape, dude.
She was in terrific shape. But obviously, he doesn't find anything out of convenience. Admits he's falling in love with her before leaving the house, and she literally pushes him out of the house. And right before she has to, smush him out of the house, no kiss, smushes him and slams the door. So that is the level of a dirty dog that we are dealing with, with Dr. Peter Venkman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and as that happens, and as soon as he's heard the door go, you then have Rick Moranis. So this woman is surrounded by absolute hounds, trying to get into her Velvet Venus flytrap. She is
desired.
She is extremely desired, this woman. So back at the fire station, they are having some beers and a Chinese. And Venkman says that he wants some money to take her out because he did offer to take her out for a date before she got rid of him. And he has to fit out the petty cash and is told that money represents the last of the petty cash. So while they're having that talk upstairs, then the phone rings and Janine answers the phone. Who, yes, of course, they're serious. Really? You do? You have?
You have?
Oh, yeah, you have. Oh, no.
Yes, of course they're serious.
They'll be totally discreet. And then they'll be there right away. Puts the phone down. We got one! Hits the alarm bell. They all, start dropping their food, jump on the fireman's pole. Some total boogie-woogie music.
While they're hitting the fire pole, I noticed that they spent some of their grant money on on some arcade games there in the background.
In the back right corner. I saw that.
Yeah,
money well spent.
Yes.
Well, it's got to represent a 1980s fire station, so that's good. That shit's going to be happening. So they then get into Ecto 1. The first time we see Ecto 1, which
what is the proper name for this? The Ecto?
1.
Ecto 1. I just wrote down the Ghostmobile because I didn't know what the fucking proper name of this thing was. But as it was moving out, it was on like fast forward speed, like double speed from the frame rate because they were trying to make it look really fast.
Well, the big hint is when the doors open and the license plate just says Ecto 1 on it. That's the big hint there, Brian.
Oh, I didn't write that down. Sorry.
Sorry, it's been a dick. So yeah, the Ecto 1 comes out, and I'm sorry that it's nowhere near. It's not sexy, but goddamn, that car is gorgeous. Like the Batmobile is sexy. That car is just gorgeous. I absolutely love that car.
It was a 1959 Cadillac. It was like a combination of a hearse and an ambulance. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which makes sense. And they use because hearses have the drawers on the back for the coffins, and that's what they keep the photon packs on. And
it kind of makes sense too because they're the Ghostbusters and it's part hearse. You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of funny.
It's got the continuity in there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It would make total sense. Like that or an ambulance. Those would be the two sort of vehicles you'd go to, wouldn't it? So they arrive at the hotel. They all three of them walk in that you see them in their jumpsuits. And first time you see the photon packs as well. Ray's got his like night vision goggles on. They just could not stand out more in this hotel, which is like the Ritz. This is essentially the Ritz. Everybody there looks like they've just walked in from the opera. Absolutely gowned out and dressed up.
Fancy place.
Extremely fancy.
Super low key, like they wanted. Super low key entrance.
Yeah.
Didn't he walk in and he was like, "Has anyone seen any ghosts?" Didn't he say that when they walked in?
Yeah, they do. And obviously, she's assured them that they'll be discreet. They walk in. They're met by the manager, who tells them that it's been known on the 12th floor for years, and there's been all sorts of disturbances.
Oh,
so
can I ask you a super quick question? I'm sorry.
Yep.
So in America, we don't have a 13th floor in hotels, apartment buildings, anything like that. Is that an American thing, or is it in the UK as well that you guys think that it's bad luck? Because in America, it's just one big superstition. That's why new developments, buildings don't actually have a 13th floor.
I can't answer this for one very, very stupid reason. We don't generally need to develop buildings that high. So
Gotcha.
if we have a hotel, it will rarely go above just your average local hotel. So obviously this is in a city. Even in a city, the only time you get buildings that tall if they're like office blocks.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Or like flats.
Yep.
I feel like London has a bunch of buildings that high.
London will, yeah.
Maybe even Manchester, possibly, or,
yes.
or Birmingham.
Yeah. Birmingham, Manchester, London. There'll definitely be some others, but I'm thinking in Newcastle, the only ones I've ever seen that would have a 13th floor, it was just full of apartments.
Gotcha.
So
I'll ask like ChatGPT later or something. I'm just curious because I always thought that to be an American thing, just a big superstition on our part, which is crazy to me. But
off the top of my head, I think it is. I've heard that before, and I think I do think it is an American thing, but
it's not it's not every place you would go to though.
It's pretty much like even in new development.
It's a lot though.
Yeah.
No, I have heard that, but there's a bunch of hotels here around here for like local, mainly used by local businesses. So they'll be in like business parks. So if they have some sort of seminar or anything like that, you're talking like 3, maybe 4 floors, but that'll be it.
Gotcha.
Other than that, there's nothing that's going like 6-7 stories and anywhere in the local area that I can think of.
Gotcha.
I like how they have the name tags on these uniforms, by the way.
Oh, they have it. Yeah, they have the little.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
So they've been told to go up to the 12th floor, waiting for the elevator. There's a guy there with your typical New York dress on. So he's got the fedora hat, the matching raincoat. So what are you guys? Some kinds of exterminators? Yeah, someone saw a cockroach up on 12. There's got to be some cockroach. Yeah, man, I'll bite your head off. And then when the door opens, you get in, I'll get the next one.
I like that.
One of my favorite visual gags in this film comes up next. So they're in the elevator, and you have Ray, Pete, and you've got Venkman. So, sorry, Venkman's at the back. Ray gets switched on, and they've just been discussing the fact that they've never tested this kit properly. They have an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on their back. And then when Egon switches him on, he then does his best to try and get back in the corner. So he's moved maybe 2 feet from a nuclear accelerator, which, considering he's a man of science, just the fact that he's not that confident, but he still tries to move a few feet back is clearly that didn't go land for you guys. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
It was.
No, it was pretty funny.
It was comedic for sure.
Yeah.
The doors open. Ray comes out like he's in fucking Vietnam with his proton pack loaded. He just sort of jumps out of the elevator with his, ready for anything. And then Venkman just strolls out of the lift. Absolutely not a shit given. They start walking around, and then they hear a noise behind them. All 3 of them turn around, shoot their proton packs at this poor black maid, who ducks behind, almost annihilate a maid trolley, and you've just got a on fire toilet roll on the floor.
No, they don't help her up either. They're just like, all right, sorry, later.
Yeah. So no, sorry. We thought you were someone else. Sorry. After what the hell are you doing? Which, just to be that dismissive, I just, that is just nuts. They keep looking around. They split up. Ray sees it. Opens fire on the bloody on the onion head ghost on Slimer. Sends him flying off. Ends up finding Peter. So the spirit of John Belushi then sees Peter. Peter picks up his Walkman to let them know that he's found it. And Ray starts bad-mouthing it, saying, ugly little spud, isn't he? I think he can hear you, Ray.
Did you skip the part with the cigarette? The cigarette hanging off of his lip? That was... I had that written down. That was making me laugh because it was falling out already, but then it just stuck to his lip.
Oh yeah,
to his lip there.
Yeah. Sorry, that bit wasn't even designed or anything. That was just literally his saliva keeping that on there when he sees it, and then he calls it. He runs to hide and call it in. But that is it. That is a great facial expression from Dan Aykroyd there. So when he first comes across it and his mouth just opens because they've only second ghost they've ever seen. They've seen a ghostly librarian that turns into a monster, and they see a green floating potato. That's the sum total of ghosts that they've experienced.
Did anyone notice that when he just chose to yell instead of using his walkie-talkie?
Venkman.
Yeah. And then very next scene, you see the walkie-talkie. I was just like, oh, that would have came in handy.
But in that sort of state of shock, would you be thinking,
fuck yeah, I'm calling for help.
Oh, no, yeah. I'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm with Ray on that one. I'd be, shouting, thinking, oh, God. But, so yeah, they're having a standoff. And then Slimer just charges at Venkman, and you have a camera shot that just zooms in at Venkman. End up with Venkman on the floor as Ray's running after him. Venkman's on the floor. Dude's been becockied. Slimer has
Ghost come!
Slimer's left his mark on this one. He's this one is mine. That is what he said. This one is mine. So Ray then walkies down to Egon saying he's been slimed. That's great, Ray. Save some for me. So they're all into this ectoplasm. Very much so. Then they get Egon tells them that he's just gone into the ballroom. So they go into the ballroom. You're looking through Ray's goggles. You see up at the chandelier, watching him just flying around, just enjoying himself.
That was
having a damn good time.
Yeah,
just going around this chandelier. And honestly, you'll appreciate this, Brian. The first thing that popped in my head when I saw that, I thought, only fools and horses. As soon as I saw that chandelier,
okay.
that was just the first thing that popped in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they start trying to get him in locked in with the proton packs, and they just absolutely blast the shit out of this ballroom. This ballroom is decked. It is ready to entertain people. It looks fancy. It looks expensive. And they just
Not
fuck
anymore.
they fuck this place up big time. They absolutely destroy the whole bar. They go along the whole bar, so all the expensive liquor is just annihilated. In all the mess of this chaos, Venkman decides he wants to do the tablecloths.
Oh,
Yeah.
The only thing, and that was apparently a real one take. They were just going to go with whatever happens, and the flowers are still standing. That was the only thing that was left on that. The flowers are still standing. So anyway, they do manage to trap Slimer. You see the first sight of the ghost trap, which was such an iconic toy when I was a kid. I wanted one of those so badly. But they catch Slimer. They then go out of the ballroom where they're met with the hotel manager again. And a little visual nod that they're doing is Venkman. So when Venkman is talking to the manager, Egon, they're talking about all the different charges they're going to incur for the capture, etc., etc.
$5,000.
No, he says $4,000, and then he puts four fingers up to his face. He's going, "There'll be 4,000." So Egon's directing him how much to charge, which is a nice little tip. Nice little bit. So the manager refuses to pay. So Ray, who isn't a shyster, there's nothing shystery about them, but Ray, without missing a beat, that's fine, we'll just go put him back. And then he immediately agrees to pay. Then from that, it then goes to TV news presenters talking about ghosts. You've got USA Today, all the newspapers showing up. They're on the front page of everything.
And the theme music is back. The theme music is kicking in. Who are you going to call?
You've got Larry King.
Yeah, Larry King.
That was funny.
I wrote Larry King, LOL.
Not only that, on the way we get to that TV shot, you've got Dana in her 1980s get up of gym wear. So she's got like the leotard. She's probably got those leg warmers on, and she's just doing sit-ups with the TV on, watching all of these things go on while she's still a client.
Yeah.
And yes, you got Larry King, you got Time Magazine. You see them running around New York.
You also have two guys. The one guy is so grateful for what they've done for him that he gives them 2 rotisserie chickens.
Yeah,
did you see that? That made me laugh.
I missed that part.
That made me laugh. Like still on the fucking on the thing.
Yeah, I think it's like It's an Asian guy. So that is something that is a way that they will cook ducks and chickens. They'll put them on skewers like that.
I was actually going to mention before we move on a little bit further that action sequence where they get the green ghost guy, the John Belushi ghost, blob. I guess we should call him the Blob.
John Belushi ghost.
But that I wrote down that the special effects, they were pretty okay for the time.
Oh, definitely.
But what I was very impressed with was the sound design of all the different things that were happening in that scene. The sound design of those action sequences was actually really, really good. And I just wanted to point that out because I was actually very impressed with that. When I had my headphones, I was like, holy shit, this sound is actually awesome.
The chandelier crashing, the zapping with the guns.
The zapping with the guns.
Yep.
Not only that,
you heard directional sound too with certain things. So
I'm surprised the army hasn't hit them up for these weapons at this point. Like these are weapons of mass destruction.
Good point.
You know,
considering it's America, you would think so.
Yeah,
the fucking military would be all over that. No, but to that point as well, when I didn't feel worth mentioning, but the hotel manager's talking to one of the women who's waiting to get into the ballroom that this is going to be for, And he's like, it's just a delay. It's something like, it's just a delay. It won't be too much longer. And then you just hear like Slimer screaming in the background, and you just hear something fucking drop and smash. You see him turn around. He's like proper Basil Fawlty moment. He's just like, no, everything's fine. And you just hear a massive fucking crash behind him. And that is so Fawlty Towers. But yeah, the sound, I did make a note about the sound design, but I put that with the demidogs, that's strange things, the demon dogs.
Okay.
I thought the sound of it, like just the snarl, I just thought that sounded like, it just sounded fantastic with them.
All of their like demonic voices and stuff like that were genuinely creepy in this film. Like it kind of reminded me of like that possessed exorcist voice and stuff like that. Once we get to those scenes, talk about it a little bit more. But there was actually a couple of moments that were like reminding me of some horror classics. For a comedy movie, I thought it was kind of cool that you still got some weird creep factor in there, you know?
Yeah, and Dana's voice when we get to that, it's just so out of left field, but it doesn't seem jarring.
No,
it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it doesn't fit in this film. It works with it, it works in this film. Okay, so you've seen all the newspapers come up in Time Magazine and everything, and you see them running through town, and there's like just reporters following them, TV cameras. They're always holding a smoking ghost trap. After that, we get to a scene that I'm sure stuck out to everyone. Ray is asleep on a bed. Ray is having a dream. What is Ray dreaming about?
He's about to fuck a ghost.
He literally gets sucked off by her.
He gets blown by a ghost.
Yeah. Fucking eyes. Why did he write that scene in? He chose to pick himself in that scene.
That was the peak of this movie. Was this fucking short little fucking comedy thing here when he gets blown by a ghost? Like,
I'm gonna read out my exact notes here. Then we cut to a very noticeable scene. Ray, asleep on his bed, falling asleep, is having a dream about getting fucking noshed off by a ghost. She floats down, undoes his belt, unzips him, then cuts to his face as he goes cross-eyed, and then come back.
He's like, oh!
He falls off his bed. Right, I didn't write down the name, but that ghost was performed by a Playboy playmate.
No shot. He definitely wrote that scene in for himself then.
Probably.
My last note there, probably not the worst thing she's ever done for a paycheck.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, after Ray's little ectoplasmic dream there, we then get to the man, Ernie Hudson, outside with his newspaper. So he's been looking at the jobs. Ernie Hudson. We have the first sighting of Winston Zeddemore. So he walks into the building. It then cuts to, for some reason, Janine, the secretary, giving the job interview, asking him if he believes in mythological creatures, the Loch Ness Monster. Do you believe in the city of Atlantis? And you just, again, find one thing, you might not like this film for a lot of reasons. The character, immediately, what is this character about? If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
Mm-hmm. Damn right.
So you've got Ray and Peter come in and talking about how exhausted they are. Janine says Winston's here about the job. Ray, just without missing a beat, congratulations, you're hired. Peter stands like the
on the spot.
You could tell they're exhausted.
And then immediately just so he's there in his job interview getup, and he just passes in 2 smoking ghost traps. So we then cut to Dana coming out from rehearsal. So she's got her cello and she's with a fellow musician, and Peter's across the roads, clearly waiting for her, just being obnoxious and visual as possible, hopping along, doing, some little silly walk. I don't even know what you'd call it. Silly little I'll tell you what it is. It's the Chuck Berry Angus Young walk that they do. When
Oh, the duck walk. Yeah.
So Peter goes to Peter. He compliments on how well she played when she's in the middle of a complete orchestra. So you absolutely wouldn't be able to tell how well she's played. But
I think this is where I wrote down that she's going out with Wayne Gretzky. Because doesn't she come out of there with that guy?
Is that what Wayne Gretzky looks like?
I can't remember, but I wrote he kind of does. I don't know.
Wayne Gretzky?
Wayne Gretzky, when he had longer hair.
Oh, yep. I could see that all day.
I know of him. I know
he looks like a hockey player.
Canadian hockey player. Basically, he's the Michael Jordan of hockey.
Jordan, yeah.
Oh shit, heard that.
I'm aware of that, and he changed teams, and there was like some massive uproar about that. He was ride or die for this team for years, and then
is he Canadian?
Oh, the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, he went to the LA Kings.
I was like franchise,
but it wasn't. I believe he didn't leave. I believe he was traded. So
what?
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Bold on their part.
I don't watch hockey. I don't know much about hockey's history, so I'm not a good source for this.
Dude,
I always had it in my head that he was traded, not he left to go to LA. So,
well, Peter's come to her with information about her case. They found the name Zool, and it was. Let me just find my notes here about this.
Demigod.
It was a demigod from 6000 BC, worshipped by the Hittites, Sumerians, and Mesopotamians, and it was a minion of Gozer. So, for more information, Peter asks her out for a date, which she is charmed and, funnily enough, accepts. So now all of a sudden that he's on the TV and he's famous, all this creepy charm is apparently now acceptable, which sort of rings true for.
Yeah, I was going to say that's about how the world works.
Well, well, you've been called attractive online, Captain Quintano. You had any messages ever? Boomer, anyone ever complimented you a bit too exuberantly now that you're all famous and shit on the internet?
Yes, and they've all been gay. I don't know. I've had about 5 where it got like way too descriptive.
Oh god!
And they've all been gay guys.
Mate, I'm sorry.
Look. Hey, I brushed that shit off. Like I didn't, take any offense to anything.
It's flattering
like that. It was flattering to me,
Yeah.
But some of when you read it and read back over it again, you're like, this is a little weird.
Yeah, when you're reading it and your wiener's in your hand, it's just so crazy, Hate that shit.
It's not that.
Yeah, but yeah, there's never been one woman who has sent me a message like that. It's been 5 gay guys.
Okay,
no woman.
No. I've had women say like that, like a couple times, like in a YouTube comment or something, like, "Hey, like I think King Boomer's attractive," but that's as far as it will go.
Yeah.
The 5 times, like I literally got sent these personally. In my email, and
Can you tell me?
And it was like very descriptive.
Have you
get into that?
2 of them in particular were very, but I'd rather not repeat. I'm still trying to get it. I'm still trying to get it out of my head, but
you still got them in your
they're
inbox.
trying to get your head.
No, I deleted those immediately, and I did not respond.
Imagine Queen Boomer just hopping on Brian's computer. It's like, oh, let's see how the channel is. Okay.
She would.
It was eye popping, but look, I mean, it was still flattering in a weird way, but at the same time, I was like a little creeped out by it, But anyway.
Oh god, that's good. That's good. But that is the. Honestly, I literally thought that. I thought, like, let's just ask him because you've told me a couple of things where you've said this or that's happened, but all of a sudden now he's on TV and like he's on Time magazine. all of a sudden this absolute creep nature is now all of a sudden, oh no, it's charming.
Mm-hmm.
It's charming to
That's
him.
how it usually works.
Yeah. So after he's done that, and she agrees to meet up with him, so we go back to the fire station. So we've now got the famous logo outside. We've got the Ghostbusters logo. We've got rid of that piece of shit white bit of wood with black.
We've got the
paint
official
on
one
it.
now.
We've got the official fantastic logo on there. And we've got Winston getting his induction. So talking through how to use the ghost trap, how the containment units. And Janine tells Venkman there's a man from the EPA who has come to see them. And she also brings up the fact that she's been overworked. She's not had a day off in 2 weeks, and they promised they'd get someone else. And then I think it's slightly disarmingly charming, but the guy is being a complete fucking twat, saying that I'm sure a woman with your qualifications would have no problems getting a job in the the food or
in the
fast
service
food
industry.
or service industry. And then she says, in just so New Yorker, I've quit better jobs than this. The phone rings. Yeah, Ghostbusters, what do you want? It's a great little.
That's pretty good, Craig.
It's that accent is so hyper specific. So like, just even though it's so New Yorkery, and but she's just got that, like, that is just her. Okay, and then we meet every film's favorite knobscoff. We meet William Atherton, Walter Peck, Mr. Die Hard. So everyone else except Brian's favorite total asshole.
He has such a punchable face.
What is the first thing that happens when Walter Peck shows up?
He gives it. They have a handshake, and what has Bill Murray been doing? He's either been spending some alone time, or he's been in that containment unit. He's been doing one of the two things. Maybe he's that Ray's ghost's been doing something behind his back. He's covered in ectoplasm.
He literally walks up. He literally walks. Walter Peck shows up, and Bill Murray puts ghost cum in his hand.
Yep. And then proceeds to rub it on his jacket.
But Craig just said now he's convinced me that it's probably Bill Murray's.
Yeah, it's definitely Bill Murray. And that, hey, you know what? They did say his scenes
were improvised. Gross.
He probably just came out with some nut on his hand, just gave him a firm handshake. It's like it's just ad libs, man. Just ad libs.
They've got a stressful job. They've been overworked. You can just crack one off just whenever you can. You got 5 minutes alone. What you're gonna do? Like, right, I've been fed. I've slept. Right, knocking one out before I have to go back to work. That's what you're gonna do. If he's in his early 30s, he's still working on that level. So, and he's not getting any of Sigourney Weaver yet. So. And he hasn't got any more college students that he can manipulate. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's a fucking creepo, dude.
Right. Really selling this for it. It's making me not like him even more.
Yeah.
No, there's a bit like... I will not have much of an argument, but I will still defend this film. But there's a bit later. There's something I've got written down. There's a bit later. See if you guys picked up on it. That will really, really not, like, if you haven't noticed it, you will kick yourself for not noticing it. So anyway, he's wiped fucking ghost jizz all over, ghost spaff all over this guy. Right, this guy.
Ghost spat. Yo, I love that term. Ghost spaff.
This guy needs to be packaged and sent to 23andMe.
Holy shit.
For ghosts. Okay, so they've got up on the wrong foot already. So Peck is questioning about where the ghosts are kept. Is it on this facility? May I see this containment unit? May I see it? No. Why not? You didn't say the magic word. Please. Can I please see the containment unit facility? And Venkman, just knowing that something's up, refuses to do so. He says he'll go and get a court order. Now, this is something that went over my head as a kid. I didn't need to understand it. I'm still not sure how this works. So if he gets a court order, he's going to sue his ass for wrongful prosecution. Here, we would just get a search warrant. Can either of you two help me out?
Yeah, I mean, in America, you can pretty much sue for absolutely anything.
Unfortunately, yeah, there's a big suing culture here, and it's it's pretty disgusting. It's one of the one of the biggest complaints I have with my country, actually.
Yeah, I think I told Brian this, but we maybe even talked about it in the last podcast. When we went to Italy, it was actually a conversation I had with this guy in Sorrento. He was like, in America, people sue for just about everything, which, we all know. But in Italy, if you sue somebody and you lose the lawsuit, you actually have to cover both of the court fees. Yeah. And that's how it should be. But here in America, that's not how it works. You get your lawyer, you pay for your lawyer, and then that's that. You lose, you pay whatever. But here, people are just so quick to sue because they don't have to worry about that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the other fucked up part about it, because if somebody who's really rich sues somebody that is not rich, then even if the person who is not rich wins, they still basically just got bankrupted because of all the fucking legal fees that
100%.
with it.
Yeah.
And it's the appeal.
And corporations do that to people, which is disgusting. So it's a very disgusting part of our.
We also have gross lawyers here too. Like, there's lawyers that look for that kind of shit. Like, and they'll be big billboards for it. And it's like, call me if your neck is hurt after this. Like, it's all.
And I don't know about you, Quentin, but I've been sued before. It's not fun.
I haven't, but I have a good buddy of mine who's been dealing with some bullshit for the past couple years. I won't say any names, but long story short, basically this guy slammed on his brakes so my buddy would hit the back of his car. Immediately, got out of the car after the cars were barely bumped. There was no damage to either one of the cars. Guy got out of the car with his neck, hurting, this and that. Turns out my buddy, who's getting sued by this guy, knows the guy's daughter and has her on Instagram. And he saw that the guy was skydiving the next fucking week on his daughter's story. So the guy who's trying to sue him was skydiving a week later, and he's still fighting this battle, trying not to, give this guy $15,000 for the nothing that happened. It's just bullshit. And this is how some people make a living off of this. Like, this is what they want to do.
I've seen
it's really disgusting.
People crossing the road and then falling onto a car.
Yeah.
Notice how Craig said it was traffic related. The reason I was sued was traffic related as well.
Yep.
It's a lot of these things are traffic related. You see videos of people purposely trying to get into accidents.
Are you done with it now though? Or you're all good?
Yeah. Mine was actually handled by my insurance, so
congratulations.
It wasn't.
That's lucky.
It wasn't. Yeah. It's I was covered for it, so it didn't affect me like it is your friend right now. It sounds like your friend's going through hell.
No, I mean, I'm very aware of the suing culture in America, but the bit I was actually trying to get to, the suing bit wasn't confusing me. I was thinking, well, yeah, it's America, but suing for wrongful prosecution, that's the stumbling block. Because if he gets a court order, I would think that means he's got a court order to demand that he can see this as agent of the EPA.
The what?
The Environmental Protection Agency.
Oh, you're talking about in the movie?
Yeah, it's in the movie. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're, I don't know how that whole character shows up, and he's like, "I'm suing," or he was like, "Where I'm looking into you from this, from that." They make that character very hateable. In the very first scene, you can't stand him, which I guess is his role.
But from an environmental perspective, if they don't know what it's made of, what hazardous they're saying what hazardous chemicals could be getting used on the site and how they're being handled.
Yeah, I mean, their backpacks are made of just uranium and cancer that is just sitting in them. They're just walking around New York City.
They're supposed to be Craig?
Nuclear.
Unlicensed nuclear.
They're nuclear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're just walking around spreading cancer to the local New York City pedestrians.
I think Egon, man, I think Egon's autism kicked in, and he just made sure that shit was fucking safe to use. Like, he just his autistic superpowers absolutely got that shit shut down.
Yeah.
But no, I was just curious about that. I know all about the suing culture, and I've seen the video, and it happens in. So just deviate off it a little bit. In Russia, they'll do exactly what your friend's going through. They'll slam on the brakes so another car goes into them. So you'll see so many Russian
dash cams.
Like, looking up dash cams. They all have dash cams because this shit is so prevalent. Because those people who don't have dash cams end up getting sued.
Scumbags, dude.
In China, there's a really weird one. Just to quickly go off this. Someone will fall down and pretend to be hurt.
I've seen those videos. Those are hysterical.
People will just walk past them. You'll just see people walking past them, and you think, what's going on? Why is no one helping? Because the first person who then comes and touches them, they're the people who get sued. If you go, oh, are you okay? And touch them and go and see if they're okay, they end up getting sued because they will then say that they caused whatever. And that is super prevalent.
We're also like one of the few countries in the world that charge for an ambulance. It's like $4,000 if you call an ambulance because you're dying or something
minimum.
like that. Minimum. Yeah.
Minimum.
Yep.
I've heard
it's the suing shit and the healthcare shit is just, and you know, because recently what's going on with not to
the
get
CEO
or anything, but that CEO getting killed. I've never seen both sides of the aisle united so much in my life.
Yep.
Wait, because this guy literally murdered somebody, and a CEO of a health insurance
United
company,
Healthcare,
and everyone is on the internet. It doesn't matter whether you're left or right or up or down. Everybody is like cheering for this guy. Now, I'm not saying what he did was good, but it's definitely a discussion starter for all these health insurance companies ripping everybody off and denying coverage.
100%.
So
yeah, I saw someone that I know you watch, Brian, say today that there was plans. I don't know if it was just in Connecticut that they were going to have a limit on how much anesthesia you can use.
Yes, I saw that on the news. That was recent.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, and now it's been all of a sudden. So they were proposing that you covered for 4 hours anesthesia.
Yeah,
but then
a certain amount.
Then all of a sudden, like because of complications in the surgery, it will then go to 6 hours. You're not covered for those extra 2 hours.
Yeah, so like imagine your surgeon trying to rush your surgery. Otherwise, he knows you'll get charged for a shit ton of anesthesia, or the other way around. It's just so fucked up, dude. It's so disgusting.
And the doctors were completely against it.
Yeah.
But this guy gets shot in the leg in the back or something like that. And the CEO on like 10 million a year passes away from it. All of a sudden, they've dropped that proposal.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny how that works. And what you had written on the guns, it's
deny, depose, and
delay, deny, depose.
Yeah, delay, deny, depose. That's it.
It was based off of a book.
Delay, deny, defend,
which was about healthcare providers fucking people over.
Yeah, yes. Delay, deny, and defend the reason for not giving healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. NHS, man. What can I say?
I know almost every other fucking civilized country's out there got it, except for, I mean, we get made fun of a lot for a lot of the goofy shit that we got going on in here, and a lot of it is rightfully so. But I would just want to stress for anyone who's not an American watching this, is a lot of that stuff, the majority of us are not, we don't want it that way.
No.
It's just how we've been screwed over by, government officials for so long. And that guy killing the CEO guy, the reason that happened is because it's somebody who's finally said, I've had enough.
Yeah. Which, stressing that once again it's not a,
Right.
Not saying that, hey, go shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
But
no, what he did,
it got the attention of the American people. That's for damn sure. And
Yes,
people now
not in
that
the
have been
best
getting
way,
fucked over for years and years, I think, are now finally opening up their eyes, and hopefully some changes, like you just said, Craig, will happen. Maybe they can start doing a little bit more right
guys,
by us.
continue this. I'm just gonna hop in the bathroom real quick and grab a drink. So
Yeah, bro. Ectoplasm.
Yeah, not a problem. Another ectoplasm. He's got the ghost in there. He's going to get fucking noshed off. That's what's happening.
Jesus Christ, Craig.
I don't know. It could be a ghost. It could be Queen.
Ghost, come. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na. All right, shall we get back to the busting of ghosts or the ghosts of smashing?
Well, while Boom is smashing a ghost or smashing his toilet seat, whatever he's doing. Okay, so they've gone. He's threatened him to go and get a go get your court order, and I'll see you for wrongful prosecution. Okay, then cuts to down the stairs, and you've got Egon, Ray, and Winston, and they're talking about the psychokinetic energy in the city. Usual psychokinetic energy would be the twink going. Here we go again. Egon snacking. He's got the Twinkie.
He's doing the Brad Pitt. The Brad Pitt always snacking.
Always eating something. Yeah. That's a weird comparison. Harold Ramis and Brad Pitt. I think that's the only time anyone's ever fucking compared them.
He's passed away, right? I think he's one of the Ghostbusters
Harold
that has passed on. Yeah.
Yeah. So they brought him back as a ghost in the.
I saw that. That was actually really sweet. I actually really enjoyed that Ghostbusters.
That was very touching.
Yeah.
And, you got Paul Rudd in it. You're not going to go too far wrong.
Yeah, Paul Rudd is fun, man. The second one I heard was shit. I tried watching it and I was not a fan. The Frozen Empire.
I saw the. I was like, that doesn't look like Ghostbusters.
No.
I had someone tell me at work this week that actually really liked it, and it felt like a Ghostbusters film. And this guy, he looked like the kind of guy who would really enjoy, Ghostbusters films. So he really enjoyed it. He didn't like the only film.
He said it was fun though. Like he had a good time watching it.
Yeah.
The audience. I mean, obviously, just going off of the tomato here, which is not reliable by any means. Not reliable.
Not
but the audience has a great reaction to Frozen Empire. 82%. Critics 42%. That actually seems like it could be accurate, but an enjoyable movie is an enjoyable movie at the end of the day. Like once again, going back to The Mummy, in my head, it's a 10 out of 10 because I love it, but it's because I've always loved that movie. Doesn't mean critically it's a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. The Twinkie. And also on him snacking on the 2019 Ghostbusters, when they find all their old outfits, like they open the closet and it's got Egon's. There's like
Twinkie?
a candy bar wrapper.
That's actually really cool.
So yeah, it is a thing that's written in that he's always snacking. So yes, Egon Spengler could have been Brad Pitt in another dimension. Egon then says the psychokinetic energy in the city would be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing 600 pounds, which Winston that gives it one of those hearing that is a big Twinkie. And I've got to say, I finally tried a Twinkie about 5 years ago. I was deeply disappointed. I don't know if they've changed.
Yeah, it's just
I've never been a Twinkie fan.
Twinkies have always seemed a little phallic to me personally, but
Minion dick.
Minion dick, exactly. Minion dick. We know what kind of porn you watch now, Craig.
Oh man, it's full of cream. I just
dude. We're getting so dirty in this fucking review.
All right, we'll tone it down.
Oh.
No more ghost.
Oh, mate, that ship has sailed. We're in open water now. The ship sunk.
Ship sunk and there were CGI sharks.
Yeah.
All right, Twinkies.
So then Peter comes down and tells them they've had a visit from the EPA. And obviously this is not good news. Ernie, hearing this, just turned on. Tell him about the Twinkie. What about the Twinkie? And I don't know.
A lot of Twinkie talk.
It's a simple joke, but I actually I've always loved that. I loved it as a kid. I still love that joke now. Okay. So going back to Dana's apartment, it doesn't look good. The grotesques on, I looked it up, which we referenced before, mentioned before, might have been off camera. So gargoyles have a functional purpose, so they are waterspouts. Grotesques are just there for aesthetics. So gargoyles have an actual.
I feel like we established this in the Batman review, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure which one.
So gargoyle has water coming out of it.
It's got a function. It might be water, but it has a it does a function.
And a grotesque is just there.
It's just there. Yeah, it's just an ornament, like an ornament. So yeah, the toes break off on this grotesque. They decide they want to get out and have a wander, see New York, see the sights, grab a slice of pizza, the usual. Okay, so Dana going back to her apartment while Lewis has got his party on. She tries to sneak past and actually tiptoes past it. Denies going into the party, goes in the house, phones her mum and says that she's got a date. No one that she knows. It's a Ghostbuster, one of the guys off TV. So she's just having a moment, sitting back on the couch, and then somehow in this standard-sized one-person chair is one of the demon dogs. Arms come out.
I love this scene. Favorite scene of this entire movie. Continue. I'm sorry.
It was actually fucking scary too.
It was just like straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street. I was like, this is sick.
Well, you guys missed the obvious bit that most people talk about on this scene.
It just went straight for the neck.
Oh, I can't believe I missed that. No,
dude,
I didn't catch that.
The hand comes out and just straight grips her tit.
Yeah, and you can't blame whoever the puppeteer was for that because they can't see a damn thing.
Yeah.
Like that was just that was just
he definitely didn't mean to do that.
But that dude got lucky that day. He got paid twice. He got paid on a bonus. So we go to then Lewis's apartment. Did you like that one? Did you, Captain Quintano?
He did. Yes.
Oh, spit my water into my mic. I'm so sorry.
Swallow, don't spit, mate. Come on. We've had this conversation.
All right,
he kept it going. He kept it going. Dude, you're just serving him up alley-oops.
Oh, God.
Dude, that was a fucking layup. That wasn't even alley-oop. Okay, so in Lewis's party. Oh, that you're going to set me off, dude.
I think we killed the captain.
I am no longer the captain of the ship. Okay.
Get on your knees.
What?
Get on your knees.
Get on your knees. I am the captain of the ship again. Okay.
What?
All right, so we were at the hand grabbing of Sigourney Weaver.
The chair gets turned into one of the doors of an apartment, and we have a demon dog waiting for her, just roaring. The chair goes flying towards the door slams shut, and you see it sort of bulge a little bit as well, which was an interesting.
That was creepy too. Yeah, like Quentin said, this was probably my favorite, jump scare / effect of the movie, because with the hands coming out, that was creepy. And before the hands even came out, you saw fingers rubbing against the
literally
door.
Nightmare on Elm Street with the ceiling scene where Freddy Krueger
I really like. Yeah. That was really cool.
One thing they didn't do on this film is, I don't think on the effects at all. You can say, "Oh, that looks so bad, that looks so cheap." It was 1984. Everything looked that bad, and the stuff that looks good looks really good, and it doesn't look so jarring even today's standard.
I don't know though. I mean, like, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but like Hellraiser, I don't know what year that came out. But granted, that's a lot of prosthetics. You know what I mean?
Prosthetics.
But that's what I loved. I mean, like we all have talked about this many times, but it's like those practical effects are what made it so cool back then, and then genuinely terrifying because our brains can tell when things are real and when they're fake. So when you give me some real stuff that looks terrifying and creepy, like honestly, I thought that scene once again. I loved that entire scene. But that CG in the fridge, it took me completely out of it. I felt like I was looking at some just something really bad.
The fridge didn't bother me. There's one bit later that I think, wow, that stands out really badly, but it doesn't diminish it for me because that's not what I'm focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
But I will bring it up. I'll tell you what that is. Okay, so we then go to Lewis's party that he's got for all of his clients. So none of them know each other. It's just a get together, and I made a note of it. I don't know how I cannot tell how old any of these people are. They are all dressed like high school professors.
Yep.
Like these guys could be anywhere from 25 to 52, and if you told me anything, because they're all wearing that sort, they've all got those sort of like tweed, and. I don't know, like it looks like everyone go out and dress like a 49-year-old from 1984. Even Bill Murray, Mr. Sleazeball, and you think he'd be wearing something, flash, cool, and hip, but no, they all look so old. So Lewis
except for the tall girl that she looks like a tall version of like Scarlett Johansson or something.
Mm-hmm.
The blonde girl that has like
the blonde girl.
Two lines.
She is someone's girlfriend. Related. I didn't make a note of it. She is someone's girlfriend who is related to the film in some way. I don't know if it was a musician's girl, one of the musicians producers. She's there for a reason. She look at my hot girlfriend. Let's get her on. But yeah, Lewis is just going around talking about the price of salmon and how much discount he gets of this because he buys it in bulk. Just the greatest party talk ever. Couple comes to the door. He introduces them, and for someone dealing with their clients, he does a really obnoxious thing. He gets their coats, opens the closet door, but just throws the coat in.
Yeets them.
Yeah, he just yeets the coat in. Right, and we have a demon dog waiting, and then it just like it throws it on his head, and the dog's just it looks like the dog was just woken up, and he's throwing a sock on its head. And he's like, "What are you doing?" But this party's been going on for a while. These things are only just broken out. How the fuck is this dog in this cupboard? I don't know.
He's a ghost.
It's a ghost, man.
If that's the one thing that you're critiquing about this movie, we could have a real good discussion, Craig. He's a damn ghost. They go through walls.
No, this dog goes through walls, and the fucking wall has a hole in it. Afterwards, this dog fucks walls up. That's how he goes through them. This is not Dracula. This dog is the Juggernaut, bitch. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
So it's not a ghost. So I was thinking, how does this dog get? Because I'm through like critiquing eyes. How's this dog getting here? Anyway, you hear a noise. Okay, who bought the dog? And then this thing the size of it's like a half. I'm not going to make the joke, but it's like half hog, pig / bear. I'm not making the joke. But this fucking thing leaps.
No, wait, hold on. I think now I need the joke.
Yeah, I do too, because I have no idea what kind of...
Man, bear, pig. South Park.
Oh,
okay. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Half man, half. But no, it's literally like if you took like a wild because you have them in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, we have wild boars.
Oh yeah, we got like a boar problem.
Yeah, and they will fuck you up.
They will.
I've heard and seen it. I've heard them, but as far as I know, they're pretty troublesome because they just fuck the agriculture up. They just that's what I've heard.
Yeah, good eating though.
Yes, they are.
I can't say I've had one. Funny enough,
you come to Florida, we'll go hunt some wild hogs. All right,
It's basically you're eating pig.
bacon.
You know, it's almost exactly the same thing.
Your bacon is not. Wait till you
It is to me.
Wait, what do you guys have? Like the ham patties, and then we have like crispy bacon.
I've heard our bacon. It's more like Canadian bacon, but
okay, so it's like the ham.
No, it's we get it in rashers, but it's it looks like a 6 or a 9, so it's like just look up UK bacon. We have them in rashers.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yours is feeling crispy.
Yeah, that's Canadian. That's Canadian bacon, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, we just get ours. We have it smoked or unsmoked. That's literally get your rashers. But yeah, just having it just it's always crispy and it just crumbles. No, you just bacon sandwich when you're hungover. Perfect, man. Anyway, this bear pig bounces out, bursts out of the fucking closet, lands on a table. The effects on that aren't great, but when it lands and you've got the static model there and it's just looking around, that thing looks fucking terrifying.
You said static model. Was that
totally
animatronics?
Agree with what you said there with the animatronics. I wrote down here the animatronics with the demon god thing are very good, but the animation of him running and jumping is very bad. So it's kind of a weird mixture there. Once you get the close-ups of the actual puppet or whatever it is, it's pretty cool. But when you zoom out and you have to make the thing move around fast, it's not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna justify it. This came out when I was 1 year old.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was before I was born.
Yeah, it was 1984, man. So, like Jurassic Park was, like 9 years away from this. Terminator 2 was 7.
Judgment Day.
So yeah, I think they did pretty well with their limitations. But yeah, so Lewis, despite all the people there, this thing is gunning for Lewis. Lewis runs out of his apartment, closes the door. He bursts through the door and also takes part of the wall on each side with him. Headbutts the other side, the wall on the other side, lands. Some old woman who's walked out to see what the commotion is just turns around and fucks off back into her house, slamming the door.
Smart.
He gets the lift. Somehow the dog realizes how lifts work, goes down. He runs out, saying there's a bear chasing him. And then the dog is just absolutely gunning for this guy. Comes out, just runs across the street, knows exactly where this dude's going. Instead of him trying to get into a cab and just drive away anywhere fast as possible, ends up at this swanky, ritzy restaurant. None of the doors will open for some reason. There are chairs everywhere outside. He's in mortal danger. Decides not to smash one of the windows and get in there. So, he's surrounded by people and possibly have some sort of escape plan.
I had a problem with this scene. So at the party, dog jumps out. Everyone can see the dog, right? Get to the window where he smashes into it. All the bystanders looking out don't see the dog. What happened there? Did it just go into his body and already possess him at that point?
I had that written down too, yeah.
I always wondered about that. Watching it back, I just thought what the actual intention was supposed to be is New Yorkers are just so indifferent. I honestly thought that was what that was supposed to be sort of conveying. New Yorkers are, I don't care.
That's fucked.
That's genuinely what.
So
I always thought. Why can't they? Why are they not scared? As a kid, But watching it, I thought, I think it's just supposed to be new.
I don't think they saw it. It's like
they did. It's not even in like the.
It's not in the frame. Yeah.
It's not in the frame.
Big bear dog thing is not there.
But
it may have just already jumped in his body at that point, and maybe it just wasn't emphasized.
But
until a later scene.
I think that was more of a let's just save a shitload of money on this shot choice. We've got everyone sat in there already. All you've got to do is have him stand outside and just slide down, and the rest is left to the imagination. But I personally thought the implication was just New York is just so blasé.
Oh, we don't care about that peasant out there getting chased by
if the same thing, if that scene happened today in New York, I don't think anyone would look twice.
In today's New York.
In today's New York, nobody would look twice.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, it's the...
For God's sake, we got fucking UFOs going all over Jersey right now, and our government is just like, yeah, we don't really have an answer, but we see them too. Like, what?
Yeah. That thing would go down the street, and then New York would be like, oh, it's the friendly neighborhood demon god thing. Let's just come behind it.
He's not coming after me. I'm not marked for death. Fine. Hey, yo, bro, you do you. Yeah.
You do you, bro.
Okay, so then Peter arrives with flowers on the 22nd floor. There's cops and shit all over the floor that this dog's, where this dog's absolutely just put a hole through this wall and demolished the door going through it. Goes to Dana's, knocks, and she answers the door in what looks like a candy wrapper that cannot wait to be unwrapped.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking good.
She's looking like a Snickers bar.
Hungry? Why wait? So asks if he's the keymaster. Well, like she is literally squirming on the spot. God knows what's going down there. That apartment is apparent. That apartment's got a lot of problems, and one of them's a water leak. Rising damp.
Who knew it could flood in New York?
On the 22nd floor.
The Ninja Turtles and the sewers below are going to catch some drippage. That's a movie we have to do at some point, by the way.
That would be a good one. That'll be a great one.
First one.
Yes.
First one. It was until Blair Witch, that was the biggest selling indie film ever.
Really? Blair Witch Project.
Yep, he's right.
Shit. That's crazy.
I couldn't believe it was an indie film, honestly.
Ninja Turtles.
Jim Henson did the puppeteering, and that's why.
Yep.
So yeah, it was anyway. Back to another cartoon property. Back to Ghostbusters. So he knocks on the door again. Are you the keymaster? Yes. Lets himself in. So she introduces herself. Says that they are waiting for the coming of Gozer. Gozer, who was that? The Destructor, in like the most seductive. Even though it's like really not satanic. It's we're talking about demons and severely ill intentions of these.
I got the perfect description for this. I wrote down. I'll say it word for word here because I use my own goofy language here. I wrote, dude, Sigourney Weaver saying this demonic Sumerian god shit is kind of hot. And then I wrote, okay, when the deep voice comes in, then it's not okay anymore.
Really? Because I proceeded to get fully.
Oh no! Oh no! Now we know that Quentin likes. Quentin likes. He likes a woman on top of him to sound like.
Speaking
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, to sound like Wesley Snipes. That's it.
Sound like me with a cold.
Okay.
Anyway, I will read out what I've got here. Dana answers the door looking like a sexy junkie 1980s slut.
Sexy junkie. That's pretty on par.
Sexy junkie slut.
from the 1980s.
Oh my god.
That's wild.
Yeah, so Sigourney is dying to get laid here. So Peter knows that something is severely, despite the fact that she's said that she's Zool. He's like, yeah, well, you're definitely clearly someone else.
He's down for this role play.
Not your behavior.
No, didn't he say there's already two people inside of you?
Guys, yeah.
Yeah, that was yeah.
No, that was crazy improv there.
That actually isn't the worst part of this whole scene, though, because the worst part of this scene is Sigourney. Sigourney's body is levitating up in the air, and then she turns over, and as she turns over, Bill Murray just immediately just stares right down through her butthole.
Yep.
He is gandering at that butthole hard, dude. He's
trying to get up in that demon asshole.
Dude, he is looking right in there like, oh.
So is that why you don't like him?
No, I actually thought that was funny, but it's like...
Did you notice him in the background slowly starting to proceed to get up on the bed? Just stand up on the bed to get the perfect visual of the demon butthole?
Yeah.
Like...
Let me get a fucking view here, and he's like standing up on it like... Oh.
That's so crazy. How there had to have been a discussion on whether or not they were going to keep that line in. Well, there's already two people inside of you. I don't think I'll fit. And they decided to keep that in. Nowadays, a movie would be rated R for that, bro.
Do you think that's why he's looking at the butthole, weighing up his options?
For sure. And then he drugs her.
Yeah. Don't. That was what I was
Then he gives her 300 milligrams of Rufalin.
Thorazine.
Rufalin.
That is actually a very wild scene now that we're talking about it. It's just wild.
Well, with her squirming around doing all that seductive...
You got to pick a different word than squirming.
Squirming. Well, she is squirming. As Motown, she wants ectoplasm. Despite what a creep he is, he doesn't actually do anything.
That we know.
So this is before the Thorazine. We then get to Lewis, who's running through New York. He runs past the kettlebell band from Paddington. They've clearly moved up in the world. He then finds a New York horse guy with a horse and carriage. So I'm guessing this is Central Park. And immediately runs up to the horse, starts talking to the horse about, the end of days. The guy says, "Hey, he rides the carriage. I make the deals. You want to ride?" And then he just looks at Lewis, and Lewis has like demonic red eyes glowing, which is a pretty cool effect for then.
I didn't mind that shot at all. I thought that was good.
Yep.
Specifically in that, Lewis starts spouting some gibberish, runs off, trips over a bin. Guy, they're just trying to be so New York in this film. What an asshole!
What an asshole!
Mm-hmm.
Right, we then cut to the Ghostbusters fire station. Policeman knocking on the door. Janine Ant. You'd think they'd just walk in, but Janine Ant says, "Dropping off or picking up? Dropping off. One moment." They come outside. They get Lewis Tully. So, Egon comes out with his PK meter, scans him. You better bring him inside. That's so kind of you. You're such a humanitarian.
I love that the cops are actually like bringing in like people they suspect to be possessed.
Yeah,
the Ghostbusters now. Like, hey, the cops, we need your help. We're the cops, but we need your help, guys. Come on.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, well,
real quick. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. Don't do.
No, I didn't know that Annie Potts was Annie Potts because I knew her from Young Sheldon, the spinoff of Big Bang Theory, which is crazy that she's still acting. But looking at them side by side, never would have guessed in a million years that that's Annie Potts. It just blew my mind.
To counteract King Boomer's hatred of Ryan Reynolds, I cannot fucking stand Big Bang Theory.
I don't like Big Bang Theory.
I don't
but
like it either.
I like Young Sheldon. I like Young Sheldon a lot. It's got a lot of heart. If you just want to throw something on, get a couple good laughs in, it's a funny show.
Okay.
But Big Bang Theory, I'm not crazy about.
No, I never liked Big Bang Theory, but Young Sheldon, even though I'm not a fan, I can tolerate it. Queen Boomer was watching that a lot for a while, and I actually like watched a couple of them, and I was like, it's tolerable. You know,
It's a nice like family show.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's way better than Big Bang Theory.
Agreed.
Held no interest for me. If you really want to hate Big Bang Theory, just watch it without. Just put Big Bang Theory no laugh track. God damn it, that is painful.
It's horrible.
So, yeah, just it's on YouTube, and it's like, oh my god. Anyway, so they take him in. So Lewis reveals that he is the keymaster. He's doing this while he's got a fucking vegetable colander on his head. Like the guys doing Back to the Future were watching this shit. It's got capacitors and curly leads just sticking everywhere in this thing. While they're just questioning him, he gives a large exposition dump about Gozer. And while he's doing all this, he's offered some coffee, and just to like hammer home that this guy is not, with it. Would you like some coffee? Yes, have some. Yes, have some. Which funny little line, but you can just tell this guy is just not with it.
Seems like he just got like a lobotomy.
Yeah, but it's weird for considering what their plan, what the general scheme is of the demons. Surprisingly, nice person to deal with,
Yeah.
They then get a call from Pete, who, even though turning up with nothing but roses that we can see, or flowers, has then drugged her up with Thorazine. So I'm not entirely sure what kind of date he was planning on this, but Sigourney Weaver's still got her clothes on.
I didn't think about that.
So this is a bit of Bill Murray and a bit of Bill Cosby. So luckily Bill Cosby went out on that. Sorry, Bill Murray went out on that one.
It's not. We're just gonna end the review there. It's not gonna top that, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a 10 out of 10 for you there.
Oh, that was great. Thank you for that.
The Thorazine line, like everyone's brought that up whenever I've seen a Ghostbusters thing, and then as soon as I was thinking about it, I was thinking, yeah, it's a total Bill Cosby thing. Bill Murray, Bill's. I've got to get something out of that. I've got to. But so Venkman is jokingly saying, "Oh, we've got to get these two together. That would be extraordinarily dangerous." So then we cut to Winston and Ray. They're in the car and they're talking about they love the Bible. They love Jesus' style. They're talking about all the old scriptures and the sun turning as black as sackcloth and things like that. Revelations and the dead rising from the grave. And then Winston pointing out, and it is actually a really good point, and it's, I think, a really well-written line. Ray, has it ever occurred to you the reason we are so busy is the dead have been rising from the grave? Which I thought was actually a really,
I like that.
To tie that biblical reference into how the film is working. I thought that was a really good line. Sorry, guys, got really dragged about it today.
Okay. I thought the what is it, the Ecto one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a shot of them talking about this, and I was probably distracted by looking around in this Ghostmobile we got going on, and it kind of reminded me of the DeLorean a little bit from the Back to the Future.
Really?
The inside, just the way it looked. It was dirty, and you saw all the wires and stuff of all the shit that they had hooked up back there.
It looks like it's actually been purpose built. It's not manufactured. It's purpose built.
Yeah. I kind of like that.
I see what you're saying.
And there's also a very cool shot of them driving across that bridge in New York.
Yeah.
And you see the city and the... I think it was the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm not too sure, because they got a bunch of bridges there. But
yes, they do.
the city in the background. That was actually a really cool shot, I thought.
It is.
Anytime where you get those shots that pan out to just kind of show the scope of where everything is super neat.
Yeah.
The fact that you knew they had to get a helicopter as well to do that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that would just be a drone. It's like you don't give it as much credence as you do. That was a you had
to get up in a helicopter to get that shot. Yeah.
And obviously time it with all the traffic and what have you. And the music that kicks in then is one thing about this. I would say the soundtrack sounds amazing. You would think this soundtrack sounds amazing. I've not looked it up because I heard the soundtrack, literally all the best bits of the soundtrack of all the songs played, you hear on the film. Like the song Magic, you hear the best bit of that song that's played.
It's smart on their part.
Yeah, well, they probably didn't have to pay too much for the royalties, I would think. But
oh god, yeah.
But yeah, so we've got those two talking about that, and it's and when he says put on a bit of music, it's a bit it's getting a bit rather not think about that kind of thing. This is why we're getting so busy. Then go back to the Ghostbusters firehouse, and Peck is back. The EPA guy, he is back, and he's got his warrants, and he's got a cop, and he's got a guy in a hard hat.
I wrote briefcase wanker is back.
Briefcase wanker. Do you get that joke?
No, he's a wanker and he's got a briefcase.
All right. Well, we'll fill you in afterwards for that one. It's way too complicated to get into.
Fill me in with the wanker.
Yes. With a briefcase.
Fill me in with the wanker.
I fucked up the second I said it. I fucking realized. Son of a bitch.
I know.
Anyway.
I
keep going, Craig. Let's power through this.
Let's power through this. Okay, so you've got... So... In there, we've only got Janine, Egon, and Lewis Tully. So they've still got him under their care. So they all come down. Janine is trying to stop them. They all come down. Egon is trying to defend them off, saying shutting this down would be like dropping a bomb in the city, which to a police officer and an EPA agent does not sound like this is something that should be going on. Then Venkman comes back. He tries to diffuse the situation. Because of how Venkman's act, the EPA guy, Peck, he is not happy to see him and is very happy to be there with a warrant, with a police officer, rubbing it in his face. They do their best to stop them from shutting this down. The guy in the hard hat, who's, I'm guessing, just some construction worker or, engineer of some sort, says he's never seen anything like this. I don't care about what you think. Just shut it off. Just making himself more of an, despite the warnings, more of an unbearable anchor. The cop could not be more New York. You do your job, pencil neck. Don't you tell me how to do mine.
Yep.
Craig, your New York accent went from okay in the beginning to pretty good.
It's damn good.
It's getting better as you go on.
It depends on the character. But then Egon, just because he's not very emotive at all. I mean, he just goes, and then they all start slowly walking up the steps. The guy shuts it off, and it just starts going, bah! Like it's like the intro of one of Boomer's fucking videos.
The one that everybody hates the most. Yeah. You know what's making me laugh is like the place is like getting ready to explode, and Rick Moranis is fucking waddling out of there, and everybody else is running, and he's like waddling like fucking a penguin, dude. It was making me laugh.
We'll start running up the stairs. The engineer guy shut up, and he just goes. I just love his face because this guy wants fuck all to do with this situation, and being told that doing this is like going to be dropping a bomb, and he just goes, "Oh shit." Mm-hmm. Great reaction. They all start running out. Egon's screaming, "Clear the building!" The front door busts off the containment unit. The roof blows off the building. You've got gases. It's like the start of Chernobyl, just on a smaller scale.
Right.
The first episode of Chernobyl on a small scale. At this point, you have Ray and Venkman return.
What's that noise?
What?
Is that? I hear like sounds like a band playing in the background or something.
I don't hear
me.
anything.
I'm on my own.
Yeah, I don't have anything on. It must be you, Quentin. What's going on behind that screen?
Everything.
While you're doing that, you can't leave.
What?
Do you have headphones in?
No.
Okay.
I've heard everything.
I can't really hear anything, but
Okay.
okay.
It just like overtook like my hearing for a second.
I am so sorry. I don't know why that happened. I just didn't hear anything, but it must have been me because I'm in a living room.
Sometimes your mic is like it gets loud abruptly.
Let me see if I can fix something in the audio.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Don't
do that because
not you. If it was me or Brian, yeah, but not you. Not you. Not today. Not again. Not again.
We'll just work with it.
Okay. So we're outside. You've got Ray and Peter come back. Right before that happens, you've got Lewis. He's managed to waddle himself outside. It's screaming, "It's a sign!" And then Annie Potts, "Sign, all right, going out of business," which is a really quick, quirky line. Then you have, like I said, Ray and Winston turn up, and we got a crowd shot. Now, guys, can you tell me anything about this crowd shot?
What do you mean? Is there something that I should have caught there?
Oh God, yes.
I noticed the zombie taxi driver. If that's what you're referring to.
No, the crowd shot while all the smoke's coming out. In the crowd, Ron fucking Jeremy is in the crowd.
There's no
Is
shot.
He? Yes.
What?
Nah, I think I even if I rewound that shot like 3 or 4 times, I probably wouldn't have. I'd probably take like a third or fourth time to notice.
Hold on. So far, there's 2 Playboy or porn stars in this movie now. Yeah, he's in there.
He's there.
That's insane.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you got Ron fucking Jeremy. So when they're all looking up and there's like a police barrier, Ron Jeremy's there, look, like hands in his pocket, one hand in his pocket, looking up, or something like that. So Lewis, the keymaster, he decides to go for a little stroll. Again, doing his fucking stupid gimpy little walk. You got 4 guys there, Ghostbusters, most stressful situation ever. You think they'd be hyper aware. This goofy motherfucker manages to escape them by walking like fucking John Wayne, who's just got off a fucking 15-hour horse ride. So when they realize that, where's the keymaster? Shit. Then they all start to go run in the same direction, run straight into Peck. And Peck, somehow, all of them are wet. So I'm guessing it set some fire hydrants off, this explosion. Screaming that he wants
to be ghost cum.
Yeah, it had to be ghost cum. The explosion. Just splooged all the New Yorkers.
Everyone just do you think that's what that explosion was? It was just
maybe. I don't know. Maybe
a super ghost nut.
Yeah, like Scary Movie 1. It's just finally bang.
Yeah,
they've all been cooped up in there. They're all wet, and Peck is screaming how he wants these men arrested. About how they're what is it? The exact verbiage he uses. He's saying that in defiance of the Environmental Protection Agency, and Egon just loses it and just screams, "Your mother," and just launches at him, which is the most un-Egon thing that happens in this movie. And it's fucking brilliant. I love it. So it then creates a big scuffle while the ghosts, you see them all escaping. You see that one go into the taxi and the taxi driver becomes a zombie, and then just immediately starts driving like a maniac through New York. So,
Good prosthetic zombie, by the way. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
I like the look of the zombie. Me too.
yeah, it was complete. It was complete. There was nothing generated. We then get Slimer again, who is completely generated, but you see him scoffing down dogs, hot dog vendor stand, and again,
Yeah.
so New York. The guy's got like he hasn't just got one of the flat caps on; he's got it on like slightly sideways. Again, just such a New York thing. And then you see Dana in her get-up. She's Thorazine's worn off. Walks towards her wall in her window, and then you just hear like a sort of build-up of the music and like and then just explodes outwards, which is a fucking great practical effect. Just the way it looked.
Mm-hmm.
Even it doesn't matter how simple it was. It just with the music and the look and like the fact that they sort of slowed down the camera right before it just looked fantastic. I absolutely love that. Okay, so then the Ghostbusters, they've got their asses in the slammer. So
With all their paperwork, though.
Yeah, they didn't take any of their belongings.
Which I was like, wait a minute. So they all get thrown in prison, but they're allowed to keep their paperwork and ask for building plans from other places,
right?
to figure out what they're going to do. I was like, there's no way this would happen.
Like,
they just got thrown in jail.
Well, my response to that is, the guy dropping off or picking up, he owed them a favor. There you go. There's your blueprints that you needed.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that one.
Yeah. You gotta go fucking get him. There's gotta be a process because it would at least take a week for the prison to actually let go through fucking arbitration or whatever the process is to get these papers to a prisoner.
Unless Bill Murray stuffed it up nature's pocket, I don't foresee that happening.
Oh no! If anyone, that's not happening to Venkman. That'll be happening to Ray. But everyone will just turn around. Ray, you're taking one for the team. Ray seems like he'd be the bitch in that situation. Ray's the one who's going to be walking funny going into that prison. But Winston immediately protests this, saying he just works with the guys. He wasn't even there, and Winston is the everyman, sort of the everyman in this, because he's not one of the Ghostbusters, even though Venkman isn't as into it as Ray and Egon. And Ray, obviously, Ray is basically art depicting life with how invested in, like he's the heart of the Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd just being a complete fucking lunatic, with his alien beliefs. I've seen him on so many different shows.
In real life, he's a freak.
Yeah. He sells his vodka in crystal skulls. I mean, what have you guys seen of him? Like,
just the Joe Rogan podcast with the crystal skull vodka that he sells. But he goes crazy into conspiracy theories. I like taking a that one. You should check it out. I mean, if you're interested. But
I've always kind of liked Dan Aykroyd too. I always wondered what happened to that guy, but I guess that's what happened. He's selling vodka and crystal skulls now.
Yep.
So,
well, some people are going to buy vodka, and there's wackos will buy fucking crystal skulls. So, there's a market for everything. So they're surrounded by convicts. All the Ghostbusters are going over the blueprints because it's something earlier. It's a callback to earlier in the film when they're discussing the Dana believes what she's saying. Ray says he'll look at the structure of a building. So there's a nice time there. It goes past you. You wouldn't think, why would you check that? But he does suggest doing that. And he's talking about what the building is constructed of, like pure selenium and, all these other things, which apparently makes it like a ghost antennae, which I don't know how they've gotten that information, Tobin's spirit guide. Maybe. but it turns out that it is like an antennae for ghosts. So the building was made by Ivo Shandor, who is a sort of mainstay. His name pops up in other films from Ghostbusters. So after World War One, he deemed humanity too sick to survive. So he started a secret society with over 1,000 followers, and they would perform rituals up on the roof. So this building is Spook Central, as Ray calls it, and the rituals were intended to bring about the end of the world, and it looks like it may actually happen. So Winston then cuts in and says, essentially saying how stupid this sounds. Wait a minute. Do you guys want to go in front of a federal judge and tell them that some moldy Babylonian god is trying to take over New York City? Something to that effect. And then Egon and his autism kicks in. Sumerian, not Babylonian. Has to correct it. Just has to correct him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sign of someone who loves history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, me and you have done that so many times with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just in you. You can't help it. The fact
Can't
that,
help it.
but I don't think Egon isn't a historian. It's it's that something else in him. And then Winston, just at his wit's end. No offense, guys. I'm gonna get my own layer, which is a smart fucking move. Then I believe I'm getting this right. We've got the dad from Different Strokes. Is it?
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
TV show from America.
80s TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Holy shit. Well, my other reference to him was he's the cop Al from Die Hard. But as I found out tonight, you haven't fucking watched that either. So
I haven't seen it from beginning to end in one session. I've seen the other parts of it, but
he's the
20
cop
minutes at a time.
He's always playing a cop. Yeah, so he comes, Ghostbusters. The mayor wants to see you. The whole city's going out of control, something like that. And we then get the Ghostbusters packing up all their stuff. They get taken to the mayor's office. So we're in the mayor's office. There's a load of people there. We've got, police sergeants. We've got town officials. And then Peck gets brought into it as well. Okay. So Peck starts bashing them immediately, saying that these guys are con men. They're bozos. They use nerve gases to instigate hallucinations to make people believe they're seeing ghosts.
Which is crazy because there's no proof of any of that. So this guy's just shooting shit out in the dark right now. It's just weird. He's got it out for the Ghostbusters heavy. Oh
yeah, well he was embarrassed by Venkman and that's it. The grudge is there. He's calling them snowball artists and it cuts to Bill Murray and you say he hasn't got any charisma. Bill Murray has just got this trying not to laugh look on his face while he's just berating them, at how ridiculous this shit is, what this guy's saying. And Ray cuts in with, well, everything was going fine until the power was cut off by Dickless here. Is this true? Yes, it's true.
This man has no dick.
That is the line. So that is the line of the film.
It's infamous.
That line is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, was that the best line for you guys, or what was your favorite line of the film? For me, that is the best line.
The funniest line to me was, "Are you menstruating?"
Are you menstruating right now?
That was so funny because it was whoa!
It was so out of pocket.
Yeah. That was funny. I'm trying to think of. Let me scroll through here.
For me, that
I don't know.
this guy
I
has
liked
something.
what was the secretary girl's line. Where
Jeanine.
is it here? Yeah, when like she gets a phone call and she's like, "Yes, of course they're serious." I like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
All right.
your accent's way better than mine, mate.
She's
Oh,
got that like
Nasal.
nasal
Yeah.
New York
Yeah,
accent.
Ghostbusters
Yes, of course they're
101. They're
serious.
serious.
Yeah.
the we came, we saw, we kicked
We
some
kicked his
ass.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that comes
that was
later,
good
but that
too.
was good. That's just like a classic movie. You got to throw that in there, kind of line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that no job is too big, no fee is too big. When they're um, on doing all the shots of them being on the news, no job is too big, no fee is too big. That's just Bill Murray's character to a T. So anyway, he calls him dickless, and then Walter Peck just charges at him, goes after him. They all get separated in the mayor's office, and the mayor's basically asking for answers, and one of the guys says the walls in the 53rd precinct were bleeding. How do you explain that? And then we have, I'm going to say a cardinal. I don't know what the religious...
Yeah, it's
Is
definitely.
it
I think
eminence?
that's
I was
right.
thinking of Cardinal too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he calls him his eminence, kisses his ring, and then like it turns out these two guys are really good friends. He's like, I'm in a real bind here. Officially, the church won't take a stance on this. Personally, I think it's an act from God, but don't quote me on that. And then the mayor's just like sort of losing. The mayor's trying to get a semblance of what to actually do and believe. With this is just so new to him. No one's ever had to deal with this kind of shit before. And he says, I'm not going to go on the news and tell everyone to start praying. Then Winston approaches him and with another great line. This could also be a contender. I only joined the company a few weeks ago, but these things are real. I have seen shit that will turn you white, which is
That was a good.
I
That was
remember
funny.
that one too.
Eddie Hudson to a white guy. That's fucking.
I was a little disappointed in the lack of screen time he got in this movie, because I
Me
mean,
too.
I loved him in The Crow. That's for damn
Because
sure.
it's because we know how talented he is and
Yeah,
how good he can be, and he kind of just had 6 lines in this movie.
yeah, it feels like they threw him in just to have the black guy in the movie, which was like, all right, but he's better in Ghostbusters too, right?
Oh, way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can shed some light on this. So they wanted Eddie Murphy.
That's right.
Now I don't know if this was planned for Eddie Murphy, but when Ernie Hudson got the script, Winston's background was he was an explosions specialist,
Interesting.
and he came in way earlier in the movie, and he had a way big part. And then so he signed on, and the last minute before starting to film, he was given the new script, and the role was vastly diminished.
They
So
probably wanted more screen time with Bill Murray, which would make sense for them, but is really, really, really shitty for him.
Yeah, the fact that it wasn't, I think the fact it wasn't Eddie Murphy, there's nothing against Eddie Hudson, but Eddie Murphy was like one of the biggest stars on the planet.
Yeah, I feel like Eddie Murphy and Bill Murray would have clashed because they both are such big stars at that time. I don't know about Bill Murray at that time, but Eddie Murphy had Delirious in the 70s? Was his stand-up special?
No. Delirious came out, I'm going to say the year after. He had two. He had Delirious and Raw.
Yeah.
The first one came out a year after in 85, and then 87 was the other one.
Okay.
So,
but he was still relatively big then. Was he doing acting jobs yet or no? Just stand up?
Well, he didn't take the job, and he went to go into Beverly Hills Cop.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Which on its initial release was the number one film in 84.
Yep.
But because Ghostbusters got the subsequent releases. So yeah, Winston approaches the bench. All the Ghostbusters kick in, doing the back and forth. We're talking, biblical, Old Testament stuff. Biblical? What do you mean biblical? And they talk about like rivers and seas boiling, 40 days and nights, earthquake, volcanoes, cats and dogs living together. That's this area, which is such a quoted line from this film. The mayor then comes out with, well, what if we're wrong? Well, if we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll go to jail peacefully, quiet. We'll enjoy it. But Lenny, if we're right, you will have saved the lives of millions of registered voters.
It's a car salesman in him.
And then, the car salesman, and then you can just see the politician brain working.
Mm-hmm.
Get him out of here. I'm going to get you, Venkman. I'm going to get you an iFood basket. So we get rid of Peck. That's all being resolved. The mayor goes, okay, what do you need from me? And then it cuts to they're back in the jumpsuits. They're in the Ecto 1. They've got a police and army escort taking them to Dana Barrett's apartment block. So awesome music playing. Do you think Brian's left us forever? Where's he gone?
Ectoplasm.
He's just cleaning.
No, we just reminded him.
Yeah. He's just cleaning up. He's just getting rid of the tissues.
Oh no, I expected him to come back with a Batman mask on.
Bad. So they go down with the awesome music, saving the day. And it is a proper fist pumping moment. You've got all the crowds lining the streets with the police escort. They park up. Everyone's chanting Ghostbusters out. It is so American. The rah-rah system bar. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters. They get out. They put they get out. Peter starts greeting people, shaking hands. Raise hands, the heart of the Ghostbusters, putting the proton packs on, all put their hands in. Sorry, no, put the proton packs on. Whatever happens, guys, come on, let's be professional. There's some lightning, and the ground beneath them starts to separate from a very, very localized earthquake. One of the cop cars ends up half in the ground. The Ghostbusters disappear under where the road's completely fissured and split apart. And there's just loads of smoke coming out. All the crowd's falling on the floor. The crowd slowly start to get up, screaming, where are they? Where are they? And then as soon as they start to come out, there they are. The crowd erupts. Everyone starts cheering. It is, again, just such an American... You only see that in American films. You never... Brian, you've seen plenty of British films. Would you ever see anything like that on a British film, do you think? Where the crowd all...
I think I have. What was that Simon Pegg movie where he does the running?
Shaun of the Dead?
Run Fat Boy, Run.
End, Paul.
Run, Fat Boy, Run. I believe there was some of that in there.
I think that was more because it was localized. It's not the... I get what you mean, but it doesn't feel the same to me. But it does seem unique. That sort of cheering, it does seem uniquely American. I don't think you see it that much in England. That seemed like it was more of a localized thing. So yeah, you will absolutely get people cheering on your local lad, or things like that. But anyway, so Venkman still being the car salesman. They want to play rough, huh? Want to play rough? All put their hands in. Only Ray's got his gloves on. They then cut to inside the building, and the music totally changes. And they're looking up, and it's just got this never-ending staircase. And where are we? Somewhere in the teens. Okay, when we get to 20, tell me, I'm going to throw up. For some reason, all of them had their gloves on. That's just something like when I was watching it, making my notes, I noticed all of them had gloves on. and
Ready
only
for
one of them-
battle.
Yeah, but none of them had gloves on, so they've got in.
Oh, I see what you're
I think that
saying.
was just continuity issue.
Yeah,
Just something I noticed.
good eye.
So they make it up to 22nd floor. The floor looks absolutely decimated. It looks like fucking Baghdad in there. And they walk down to Dana's apartment. They walk in, and there's like an aerial shot, and you can just see from the aerial shot, you can see them walking into it where the exterior of the building is just being blown away. And before we do that, we see. So before we see that aerial shot, we see Dana and Lewis are out there on the roof, standing on two pillars on top of what is starting to look a bit like a sort of pyramid shape, if you like, a triangular shape.
Did we already get to the scene where he walks in there and sees her? Did we skip that scene?
Are you talking about when she's like this?
Yes.
Oh
yes,
shit!
Yeah.
Oh
we
my
skipped,
God.
You can't skip that.
Oh shit!
She looks like she got satisfied.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. How could he have editing
He gets
skills?
he gets a
I
big
can't,
fat
I
smooch in
can't
that
believe
scene.
I skipped over that bit. No, because
No,
he
you're
knocks on
good.
the door. Yeah, he knocks on the door and he tells her, walks in. She's laid back. She sits up and she's laid back, legs akimbo.
The legs of Kimbo.
Yeah. And I am the keymaster. I am the gatekeeper. And then she walks up and she's like a foot taller than him, grabs him, and she like bends him backwards, gives
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, sorry. So that, God damn it.
No, you're good.
It's all good.
So now we'll fast forward to that scene where
I've done it too.
Fast forward to that scene where aerial shot, the pyramid looking outside, the building's blown up. You could see the aerial shot.
Yeah. So yeah, after they go to the teens, after they're saying about the teens, that's when it goes to Lewis and Dana, and when they both sit up, Lewis is there just like complete. Somehow he's got his buttons mismatched, so like the bottom two aren't done up properly, and then the rest of them are matching that.
His belt was popped too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Dana, I've got it written down. Dana looks angry. She clearly wasn't satisfied. She like that kind of angry sex. Like, dude, you need to do better. And that is where I have the legs on Sigourney Weaver written. That's when they get to level 20, floor 22, level 22, whatever you want to call it. Guys, I'm sorry. This has been a fucking long day for me.
No, you're fine, dude. You're doing great.
Keep going.
Let's plow through this. Okay, so then they're in Dana's apartment and they see some stairs which haven't been there before. Where do these stairs go? They go up. So Brinkman starts to walk towards them and there's a strike of lightning outside. Brinkman stops and then it's like, you tells the other guys to go, just that little shicey bit of, and having that saving himself. It's like, no, you guys go first. He does do that. He makes he's the last one to go.
Because he's the big hero. Nah, you guys go ahead.
Yeah.
So you guys can take the beating on the way up there.
I'm not getting struck by lightning. So outside, we see the statue on the top of the head on the top of the building that is getting struck by this purple lightning that then goes down to Dana and Lewis and then is getting projected in front of the structure that this head is stood on, and a door opens from this structure, which in any sort of practical sense, that is pretty damn good. I
wrote that the gateway to the gods. That's what I'm calling it. But it looked like it was made of plastic wrap.
The actual when it has opened. You mean that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm talking about like just the opening of the door. I just thought.
Oh, okay.
I did write they must have saved some money on the actual special effects, though, because that purple lightning looks like a proton pack with a different color gradient on it. It's exactly the same.
It's very light purple.
Yeah,
very light purple.
It's like a violet.
Yes. Good call.
Okay, so while that's happening, and with all that, Lewis and Dana turn into the fucking demon dogs. When that happens, and that's as they fall down onto wall balls, turn into the demon dogs. They turn and look at the Ghostbusters, have a little bark at them, and then they just run up onto the new pillars in front of this surround map. Looking up some of the info on this, that set took a whole sound stage to build, and it took 50,000 amps to light that thing to get it to look like that. So it might look cheap. They did not spare any expense there. Okay, and then we see Gozer. Now, I had to look this up because she has done a couple of things, but she is played by Slavica Jovan. So she's a Ukrainian actress and model. And I've also put she is. I'll just wait for. So Gozer is the love child of Lady Gaga and David Bowie.
David Bowie, thank you. Yes, I wrote down that she looks like a female David Bowie.
So David Bowie then.
I mean, hey, Lady Gaga and David Bowie together.
Did we get to the final form of our demigod?
We just got to the final form. Yes.
Yeah.
David Bowie, great reference.
Yeah, it's David Bowie in like lace. This is where I put when she's like stroking the demon dogs. The creatures. This is where I thought, fucking hell, that thing looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Whoever made that should be like that thing. If you saw that in real life, you would fucking shit yourself, big time.
I'd want it as a pet. Ride it into battle.
Oh god, you could ride it in a battle. And I just put, good practical always look better than great CGI. I've written that
every time. Every time.
So they're asking, what is that? It's Gozer. I thought Gozer was a man. It's whatever it wants to be. And here's where I've written, I thought this was 1984 New York, not 2024 Los Angeles.
Oh boy.
Every time they said Goza, it reminded me of gyoza, like the pork fried dumplings that you get at like Asian fusion restaurants. Yes. I just kept thinking that every time they would say it.
Right, we've got a brilliant callback to the start of the film where they're all stood there and they've got the guns out. Venkman goes to Ray, go get her. So at the start of the film with the librarian at the very start, and Ray's making that joke, get her. So go get her, Ray. Great callback.
I did notice that. That was funny.
And you've got the dogs snarling, and that's where this is where I put the sound of the dogs. I thought the sound effects on that, for the dogs snarling, it was probably really simply done. I just thought, like, the way they'd integrated it into the film, I just thought it was fantastic. Okay, so Ray tries to talk to her like some bureaucratic government official, like some duly designated representative of the city, state, county of New York, something to that effect, asking her to return to the most convenient parallel or altered dimension, which is convenient. That ought to do it. Great, Ray. And then she asks him if he's a god. He turns around, not sure what to say. He says no. She then tells him to die and electrocutes all of them with this purple lightning. They are then thrown to the edge of the building. You can see their legs dangling off.
If we had a yeet meter, they would be at a 10 on the yeet meter just for this scene alone.
This is when the demigod David Bowie turns into Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, unlimited power.
Yeah.
That's great.
It really does. Like, just like, are you God? No. Then you must die.
It's so accurate.
Okay, they managed to like scramble back up to the edge, and you see all from the crowd's perspective, you see all the up shots looking up at the building, you see all the lightning shit coming off. Okay, and Winston, who got thrown as they were getting thrown back, he gets thrown up onto there's a little upper level. So while they're going on the edge, he gets up on an upper level. He gets thrown onto an upper level, and he looks down at Ray. Ray, next time someone asks you if you're a god, you say, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And then you've got Bill Murray just getting fucking fed up and like actually, having some anger come out of him for once. Okay, this chick is toast. I'm gonna stop doing the lines in the voice. But they then use all the euphemisms for cock.
Yep.
Yes,
Crossing
they do.
streams.
Hit him up, get him hard. Says, let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown. They aim at a fire, and she does some Cirque du Soleil fucking monster flip. Goes about 30 meters above their head, lands. Ray says, aim for the flat top. They fire at her, and she disappears. Ray thinks they've neutralized her, and no, they haven't. Egon checks his PK meter and must be going off the chart and says this looks extraordinarily bad. So then it's just the building starts to shake again. You hear Gozer essentially telling them to choose the form of the destructor. The destroy them. They get to choose their own meaning of being destroyed. Venkman weirdly manages to cotton onto this straight away and says, "Oh, very cute. So if we think of J. Edgar Hoover will come and destroy us. So clear your mind out of anything." And as he's saying that, J. Edgar Hoover destroying you, would that be something that you find funny there, Brian?
Yeah. The thought of that is funny. Yeah. It's actually pretty terrifying. That thought. Just a fucking finally finished off by J. Edgar Hoover of all people.
For your money.
I bet there's been some people in your DMs who'd love to see you get destroyed by J. Edgar Hoover.
What does that mean? You mean there's people who would like to see me get bent over by J. Edgar Hoover?
Yeah. He's probably right.
That's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
Oh my god, what an image.
That must be more of a British saying than I thought it was. He's gonna fucking destroy you. Yeah, okay, never mind. Edit that out.
No, I'm keeping it in. Keep going.
So everyone blanks their mind, but you do see Ray sort of looking down and thinking, and then you hear goes to tell them the choice is made, the traveler has come. And everyone is saying, "What are you doing? We didn't choose anything. I didn't choose anything. Did you choose? No. Did you choose? No." And then it only leaves Ray, and they all turn and lock eyes on Ray. And Ray, just the innocence of a 5-year-old, I couldn't help it. It just popped in there. What? What just popped in there? I try to think. And then you just hear a rumbling in the background and like people screaming. And above the city skyline, you just see the Stay Puft Marshmallows man's head just walking along. So he's taller than most buildings. And
yeah, it's just
rampaging. What did you? And he's just walking along, but he's causing chaos. And oh no, what is it? What did you do, Ray? Oh shit! It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and we have one of the weirdest but most iconic horror sort of villain characters ever.
When you do some zoom ins on the face of this marshmallow guy, it's actually some of the faces that it made is pretty scary looking.
When it gets the fire on it.
There's a bit where it sort of looks up and goes like that. It's got menacing look.
It's got like an evil look too. It's like
Oh yeah, it's menacing.
Yeah.
3 suits made for this, $20,000 a piece, and they were all destroyed in the filming of it because of the flame.
That's
scenes.
insane.
Ooh.
But $20,000 a piece, man, fucking hell, that's quite a lot for you think. What essentially looks like a gay Michelin man. You'd think, you wouldn't think it.
That's the perfect description. Holy shit. Yo. Fuck you. That's so funny. A gay Michelin man. Oh my god. That's
I
perfect.
I was pretty sure they had the Michelin Man in America. So
Yep, they do. Yep.
look, I can't
That's a
believe
good
that.
one.
I can't believe that's what broke you.
Ugh.
But yeah, so when the Stay Puft Man is walking down the street, you just see all the cars crashing into each other. If you've seen the Blues Brothers, it looks like that. It looks like one of the scenes out of that. Which another Dan Aykroyd film. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think he wrote that too.
Yeah, well, he's in it. He's one of the Blues Brothers. So Ray then just goes to explain why he chose Mr. Stay Puft, because they used to roast Stay Puft marshmallows at a fire by Camp Laconda, which is maybe a New York reference. But he just thought of the most innocent thing, and then the most innocent thing came to destroy them. This thing is just causing absolute havoc in the streets, stepping on cars. There's a great little visual shot as it comes up. There's the building in a church, and the street looking down on this. You see a little fire hydrant start spouting up water, and that I've known this for years. That effect was done by just instead of using water, because it was a miniature, they just spouted out sand to get that little effect. I thought it was
interesting.
really inventive, really creative. Anyway, then you've got Stay Puft going after them, and he steps on a church. And according to Bateman, nobody steps on a church in his town. They all unleash the proton packs on him, which turns him into a flaming marshmallow. He then starts Michelin Man King Konging his way up that fucking building. He is climbing up it.
His facial expressions start to get terrifying right about here.
And as he looks up, I don't know how he does it, but he manages to force the flames to just eject straight up towards them, and they have to take cover.
Hell.
You've then got them sort of taking cover, trying to regroup, and one of Venkman's better little speeches after Ray says, first of all, funny us going out like this, killed by a 100-foot marshmallow man. It's the weirdest little line to come out with. Venkman then comes out with, this guy's okay. This guy's a sailor. He's in New York. We get this guy laid, we'll have no trouble. And then another callback to early in the film, where Egon has told them not to cross the streams. So in the ballroom scene, Egon advised them, sorry, I didn't bring this up, guys. Don't cross the streams, because it's bad. Crossing the streams will cause every molecule in your body to explode at the speed of light. So don't cross the streams. That's something you'd rather not do. Might put a dampener on your day. So Egon says we can reverse the particle flow through the gate. We'll cross the streams. So the debate in it, Egon says there's definitely a very slim chance we'll survive. And they've got to make a decision really quickly. Venkman is all up for it. I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of this. He slaps Ray on the cheek, just typical mate stuff. Gives him a slap. And they move just as a hand comes down, and Winston is saying it's not worth an 11,500 a year, another 11,500 a year. which I'm guessing in 1984 must have been decent-ish. So
How much was it?
11,500. That's what he said. That's
No,
the
it still
line.
sounds like not a lot
Probably what
for
I'm on.
1984. I mean, it's but more than it was today.
It'd be a lot more than it was today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they all go up the steps and they all start to fire, set their proton packs off, firing into the doorway that Gozer came through. They put all the proton packs together. Massive explosion outwards. It's like a fucking nuclear bomb went off above this building. And you see the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's face as he's just coming up over the edge. And it goes to a claymation. And you just see him doing this big,
Yeah.
the Scream, like the face from the Scream, the famous painting. And then it just blows up. Marshmallow goes fucking everywhere. You see, it falling down.
Some real ghosts come this time.
Peck, yeah. Thank you for mentioning Peck, because Peck gets hit with like this massive amount of marshmallow goo, which was really funny.
Yeah, the goo, it is shaving foam. That's how
I did read that.
Right. Okay.
It was cut out of the copy we watched, the remastered. I have seen there's when all the rocks and like the building bits are falling. There was one scene where
Yes. Are you talking about the guardrail?
Yeah, and
yep,
it bounces off it.
This giant, like 10-ton cement block just bounces off of this guardrail down there. It's in the one that we watched. I saw the scene. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was looking for it. I was like, I must have missed it. But yeah,
I'll send it to you later. But it's there because when I noticed that, I was like, someone else is going to catch this shit.
Yeah, so you've got this fucking massive weight just coming down and a plastic makeshift police barrier.
Yep.
It just bounces off it.
Bounces off like into people, and the people are there just like, oh.
Bit of polystyrene.
Definitely made of styrofoam.
So the sky settles, all the clouds dissipate, and then you see a little red light. They avoided the explosion, but they are just drenched in ectomallow. Like they are just covered in this marshmallow man goo. Everyone except Venkman, of course, because he's the hero. But before you see them, you see the demon dog just absolutely flambéed. Like this thing is just a charcoal husk. So, and then you find the Ghostbusters. They're doing all right. They've survived. They feel obviously they've just been through hell. Everyone's fine, and then they walk towards one of the dogs, and Ray, with the subtlety of a brick, smells like barbecued dog hair, not realizing that this girl that Venkman's fallen for is being turned into a dog and then turned into Korean food. So
yeah, basically, she's been turned into a fried wonton.
Good lordy.
So Ray's apologizing. Venkman, I forgot, and then they start to walk away, but all of a sudden you just hear a little noise, and then all of a sudden a hand comes out of a hole in the dog's leg, and you can just hear her inside just like gasping for air. The love music comes in. Everyone gangs up on this dog and just starts like breaking apart all the limbs just to break her out from this, like shell the dog. Dana comes out. You've got all the love music playing. Somehow, Louis Tully managed to get all the dog off himself, except the head when he stood there with a dog's head on top of his head. That one was for the kids, I guess. They've said shit about 5 times. We've had a ghost blowjob scene, but we've got to put some in for the kids, man.
PG rating, dude. Roofies gives her the Cosbypolitan.
Yeah.
Different times.
Yeah.
So they take it off him, and Lewis is just coming back to his senses. And who are you guys? We're the Ghostbusters. who does your taxes? Which just seems like a very American thing to immediately start talking about work. This is when I say American thing, I'm talking in general. This is never me digging at you two.
Oh, we know.
It's just the whole ethos of just talk immediately, just work. Thinking about that. So then
I've never been like that. I never talk about work.
Yeah, I like to keep my life like when I'm out of work. I like to just enjoy normal life.
I feel like talking about work is like a buzzkill.
Yeah.
I told you how I finished work 2.5 hours early today. I told you how fucking awesome that felt.
Right.
I passed my test and got to leave 2 hours early. But I will counter that, Brian. You talk to me about your work all the time. But
it's not work.
Yeah.
This stuff isn't work. This is
I know. It's just me being daft.
Shall we move to? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So we then have Ray telling Lewis Tully that he's so lucky because he's been involved in the biggest interdimensional cross rip since the Tunguska blast of 1909, which I'm pretty sure has been well established. It was a meteor burst above the ground, so it didn't hit. There's no comet that actually hit the ground. A massive meteor exploded in the air above Tunguska, and that's why there was so much destruction from an epicenter with no crater. Do you guys know about that? I'm assuming you would, Brian. That sounds up your alley.
No, I don't know what you're referring to. No.
I'll explain it off. Camera. There was in Russia. There was a massive explosion, but there was on the ground. All the trees for miles around were leveled.
But no sign of a comet or anything.
No sign of any explosion or impact. Nothing like that. Windows 50 odd miles away were blown out from the sound pressure from
Holy
this explosion.
Shit! You said in Russia?
In Russia, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna look into that. There's got to be some good conspiracies.
Oh, yeah. You'll if that's what you're looking for, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Then Egon, so he's Lewis is sort of saying, "Oh yeah, okay, whatever," and then Egon, I'd like to sample of your brain tissue. Sounds great.
Yeah, I thought that was a little Hannibal Lecter-esque. Like this guy's gonna try to cut in your brain, dude.
Do you know what?
Give you that Emotep treatment.
That is so on par for Egon, though. And then it cuts to Winston shouting, "I love this town," and cuts to everyone leaving the building. Peter and Dana, they get to share a kiss. Lewis comes out. No one gives a shit about him. The medics run up and take him away. Everyone's celebrating the Ghostbusters. Lewis gets carted away into an ambulance. Peter gets his kiss. And then we finish with Slimer coming up to the camera, screaming, and cut to black. And
it's over. Good job, Craig.
Good job, brother.
All right. So we finally got through that. And Ghostbusters.
Welcome back to the sandwich, Brian.
I know. I'm back in the lovely UK USA sandwich here. Let's start with, because we know. I have a feeling we know how me and Craig are going to rate this, but I'm curious about Quentin. How would you rate this movie?
6.
6? Okay.
Give it a 6. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was funny at certain parts, but there were certain elements like Bill Cosby's character. He just felt dirty.
Bill Cosby? Did you mean to say that?
Oh, Bill Murray. Bill Murray's character.
Great. That is fucking.
That's fucked. You did that to me, Craig. You did that to me.
You planted that seed in his head, Craig.
Every time you think or see him, you are now going to think of Bill Cosby.
100%, bro. But yeah, dude, a 6. I enjoyed it to a certain degree, but honestly, I just felt myself not being fully invested as I was watching it. And I had some fun with the film, but there's a lot more characters that I wish they would have focused on. instead of giving Bill Murray the entire show. I mean, I think they did a good job of trying to navigate with certain other characters, but I don't know. I feel like when you introduce a character, especially like the fourth Ghostbuster, you could have given him a lot more screen time. Plus, I love him as an actor, so that just would have been dope
No
too.
arguments there.
Yeah. So, yeah, some of the stuff in there didn't age too well. I'll say that.
No.
You know, and I'm not woke culture, nothing by that means. Some of the shit just seriously did not age well. But a lot of it still hit, and I had a lot of good laughs. So give it a 6. Give it a 6. 6.5 if that makes you feel better, Craig.
I will say this: I don't disagree with anything you just said, primarily. But I've got my own reasons, and fuck you.
Well, tell us how you rate it. You would rate it, Craig.
As we established before, I have to go with what I personally feel about the film. Film is a 9.95 for me.
Oh, come on. Just give it the 10 if you want.
Just give it the 10.
No, because we've got the Melter rating for that. Because if that's a 10...
No, that's past 10.
Yeah, that's past 10, because I gave the Mummy
but
a 10.
You can go 11 or 12, 13, whatever the fuck.
No, because Melter rating is where I can go over. So this is a standard rating. Melter rating is where I can go fucking nuts.
Right, 9.95.
So that's for Lord of the Rings. Right, so if I give this a 10, where do I put Lord of the Rings?
Fair.
Or Terminator 2. Which I would say Terminator is my favorite. This is so close it will sometimes take over. I've just got such a nostalgic love for this film. I can put this on in any sort of mood. I know all the jokes, but the jokes, the timing that they're delivered with, it's just so fucking funny, man. Yeah, I think I pointed out a lot of the problems. Like, I could see watching it critically, I can see them, but when I'm not watching it critically, I'm not thinking about that. The Thorazine thing, yeah, that's what I've always thought. What the fuck's going on there? But considering what we've established his character as, and he doesn't do anything, even though he's gotten knocked up. Like, his character isn't as bad as he's just a creep. He's not a fucking deviant. Mm-hmm. So, I just love it. I just love everything about it. It's just got such a place in my heart. Always will. And there's a lot of things that you can bring up, and I can't argue them. But I'm like a beaten wife. I'll stick with him. Maybe I can change it. I don't know.
What the fuck?
What? Yeah, we do not advocate that you stick with someone who's beating the shit out of you.
Women do.
They do. Men do it too.
Men get the shit kicked out and they'll still stay with the woman. But,
yeah.
But crazy rich pussy's awesome. So.
All right, Brian, to you.
I
Go on.
feel like Craig's head's gonna explode here, but honestly, I was thinking about giving it like a 5 or a 6, but because it's Bill Murray's the lead, and I can't get over that he's the lead, I'm gonna give this a 4, and I even considered giving it a 3. And the main reason is the first half of the movie, I was trying to get invested in it, and I did to a degree. But the second half of the movie, I was just waiting for it to end. And any movie where I'm waiting for it to end, I can't rate higher than a 5. It's,
fair.
No, you can't. That's absolutely.
It's
fair.
And
you'd be disingenuous, and then fuck it, we're here to just give our honest opinions.
Right. Towards the end, I was waiting for this movie to end.
If I didn't have nostalgia, would I rate it that high? No, not
probably
close.
not.
Same thing with me with the Mummy.
Yeah, but for me,
But we all had fun watching that, though. I mean,
fair.
It's But everybody's gonna have different tastes for things. There's a couple movies that I liked from when I was a kid where I'd probably, if I watched them back, I'd be like, well, I still like it, but it's probably not good. You know.
Yeah, when this comes on, I will have, if I know it's on TV, I don't have my TV hooked up to an aerial or any services, but I will watch it. So I used to watch it when it would come on, so I knew people were watching it the next day, and at work we'd talk about it. Or if it was on and I hadn't known it was on, I could still talk about it because it is fairly beloved.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Like, I'm clearly in the minority here because it's considered such a classic, and a lot of people love it. It did very well in the box office. But when I was watching this, like midway through, I was like, I kind of just want this to end. And that's not a good sign when you're watching a movie. It's just the way I felt about it. The biggest compliment that I could probably give this film is that I was really impressed with some of the sound design that was in it, particularly in the action scenes. The CGI or animation, whichever direction they went with the special effects, there were some parts that were kind of cool, and there were some parts that were kind of lame. So, but that's like, it's 1984. It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
The thing that probably upset me the most about this movie was not that I have a axe to grind or anything with Bill Murray, and I don't think he's a lead actor by any means. I was really upset that Sigourney Weaver and Ernie Hudson in particular seemed very underutilized.
Yeah, good point.
Being how talented that they are.
Great point.
Especially Ernie Hudson, but we know later down the road, because this is kind of early in his career, I would think, but later down the road he's going to show how talented he is. Even though I don't think he ever becomes a lead actor, but he usually plays supporting actors, and he's very good. Sigourney Weaver, however, was already this is I believe 6 years removed from Alien, so she's already been established as a star, and I felt like she was just kind of there. They didn't really give her much to say. She was kind of played it, and seeing Sigourney Weaver as kind of a damsel in distress is kind of off-putting because she's such a legendary,
she's a badass,
fucking feminine badass icon. But anyway, Craig, I was talking about how the thing that made me most upset was how underutilized Sigourney Weaver and Ernie Hudson were, and Ernie Hudson in particular, because he's extremely talented.
Ernie Hudson especially, but no, I thought Sigourney Weaver had the same character build, like the way they built a character, so you knew exactly who she is, what she's about. I thought that she had that with the same as the other guys. Immediately, you know that about her. You know who she.
Yeah.
You see her start to soften to Bill Murray as things go on. She gets to actually know him a bit more. He isn't he is actually helping her when he comes around. When she after the rehearsal, it's not. He's completely sleazeball, but it's not 100% all he's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we know who she is, but like we hardly. I feel like
she didn't get enough screen
for the
time.
Lead girl. Like we hardly ever see her.
Not to mention that she was a pretty damn big star at the time too.
She was, but I'll tell you what, she's got big love for this film and this franchise. She absolutely loves the role she was in on this. So
yeah. But that's my gripes. You got Bill Murray as the lead. You got those two very talented people who I feel like they're extremely underutilized, especially Ernie Hudson. And it just the whole second act, I was just waiting for it to end. It didn't really do much for me.
Yeah,
but I do recognize that I'm probably in the minority on this. So
no, dude, it's good that. I'm glad that we've had a film that we can disagree on. And
100%. We've all been pretty similar with our ratings.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, if I'd have thought of anything, I would have thought you two would have switched. The opinions of you two might be switched.
Really?
Yeah, I thought King Boom might have liked it more. You might have.
Well, it's also a comedy, and like a lot of the humor just didn't land with me. It was.
I wanted more of the creepy stuff. Like, I know that's not the point of it, but that one scene I was obsessed with, dude. The with the hands coming out of the couch, good titty grab, and then sucked into the hole of the doorway. I love that scene. I really did.
I mean, actually, now that you mentioned it, I would have liked it if there was more horror. And I'm not even a big horror fan, but if you're gonna have comedy that's not gonna land like it did, in my opinion, it didn't land most of it that well. But if that's gonna be the case, then you got to ramp up that horror shit, man. Because you got to have some type of action or horror that like really engages with someone who's the comedy's not landing for them. And there was some funny bits in here, but it was more goofy stuff that I was laughing at instead of like what the characters were actually saying.
Fair.
It's always resonating with me. I mean, the stuff like that's got to be one hell of a cockroach like that. Not at all. That doesn't make me chuckle at all. But the stuff like, sorry, we thought you were someone else. That's fucking. I think that's a great line. Mm-hmm. It's not like going to make me burst out laughing and get up off my chair and walk around the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, how about a Muppet meter, Craig? What's your Muppet meter for this one?
Oh God, it's got to be high. Getting knob gobbled by a fucking ghost.
That scene
that alone might as well put it at 100.
Yeah.
That was fucking wild. Anyway.
It's that Walter Peck. The argument in the mayor's office calling him dickless.
Dickless was good.
I've got to give it a 94. It's going 94. It's complete Muppetry. All through the even the librarian. What before she turns into a monster? Try and talk to her. How fucking stupid is that?
Yeah,
it's
man.
So goofy, but to me it works. Like it's the dumb shit like that works. It's the little incidental things which you get in a lot of British humor. I know it's SNL, so like they're all SNL, so it could be more American, but it's somehow really weird. I find it really weird, really weirdly British.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
how about you, Quentin?
I'll give it a 90 on the Muppet meter, the blowjob scene, like you just said. That scene is just so fucking crazy and out of nowhere. You're literally like you think that some haunting weird thing is gonna happen, and then homie's pants get unbuckled and gets his fucking knob slobbed on by Casper. That's wild, dude.
Yeah,
Casper the Playboy Playmate.
Them missing that the rock falling into the barricade was crazy to me. When I first saw that, I was like, I'm really happy you reminded me of that, Craig. But literally, like, you just see this giant boulder that was like part of this building crash down and just literally bounces off of this like plastic barricade is crazy. That they didn't catch that, or just maybe decided to keep it in. I give it a 90, dude. That's up there on the Muppet meter. But the fucking Casper going through the knob is wild.
I want to point out when I was 4 years old and I saw his pants getting unzipped. I thankfully know why anyone would, but I just didn't have a clue what was going on, and I just thought he was having a bad dream or something. I didn't know what was going on. I just saw his face and I didn't understand. There was no comprehension of 4-year-old me going, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good thing that you didn't know what that was at 4 years old, you know?
Yeah, mixture of ectoplasm going on there.
Yeah. Ghost come!
All right, so
Brian,
a 94 and a 90, and mine, I'll one up you, Craig. I'll put it at a 95.
Ayo.
Yeah, it's, I mean, there's three things. The ghost blowjob, the gay Michelin man, the giant gay Michelin man, rampaging through the city, and then I never noticed it, but you guys just mentioning that without even remembering it, the boulder bouncing off of a guardrail it's pretty ridiculous. I hope they left that in just to be like mess with people.
Yeah, Do you know
Hopefully,
what?
it's not like a
bet they thought
Starbucks Game of Thrones moment.
it wasn't
Yeah.
Starbucks. It wasn't actually a Starbucks. Everyone kept saying it was Starbucks. It was a local coffee brand from Northern Ireland, somewhere in Northern
Gotcha.
Ireland. But that is that point. Is it shite? But that is my Egon Spengler coming out and just correcting a pointless thing that didn't need corrected.
Yeah.
I'm on the spectrum, definitely.
We all are.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Ghostbusters 1984. Dude,
Yeah.
I was like I was wishing like the whole movie. I was like, why can't they just take out Bill Murray and like just put Dan Aykroyd as the lead guy? Like
Honestly, I mean, he wrote
I
the
like
movie.
Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
wrote the freaking thing.
Can you imagine how different it would be? Same script, but with Eddie Murphy and John Belushi. That, God damn it, I would go to the cinema to see that.
Yeah. Just not a Bill Murray fan. It's nothing against him personally. It's just whenever he shows up at a movie and he's like one of the main guys, I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Dude, I get that. I mean, I can't stand John Cena. I've told you the amount of fucking British comedians I can't stand. I think I love dorks, like nerds. You know, Mr. fucking Lord of the Rings here, but who plays guitar? Couldn't get more dorky. But like the Michael Cera, like James A. Cast.
I don't like Elijah Wood, but I love Lord of the Rings. I really don't like Elijah Wood.
Well, like as an actor?
The what?
As an actor?
As an actor, I don't think he's good.
Okay.
Like,
no, I don't think he's that good either, but he's brilliant in Lord of the Rings. He's like perfect as Frodo, I think.
I don't. I mean, there's a couple scenes like when I went and rewatched it in theaters. Like I've rewatched Lord of the Rings a million times. I still think it's a perfect trilogy. But there's a couple scenes where Elijah Wood's acting actually like has bought me out. Like when he gets stabbed and he's like,
really?
And it's supposed to be this really emotional moment, but you're just stuck looking at his face. And for like the third time in the trilogy that he's almost died, and it's just like, I don't know, it didn't hit for me in some scenes, but I still love the trilogy, as you know, Craig.
Like since
I know it too, man.
Yeah,
you two are two of the biggest fans of Lord of the Rings that I know.
It's well, that's it's just. I don't think there's going to be one of these that we don't. Well, I don't bring up.
We probably mentioned it. We mentioned that every one, and we mentioned syphilis every one.
Syphilis. I was going to say Lord of the Rings with syphilis.
Just a little bit of syphilis tonight, just a little bit. Yeah.
You know what? Looking through my notes, I thought, right, we'll get through this. This will be like easier 3-hour one. This is currently our longest one.
It is 4 hours.
Alrighty, guys. Should we say our farewell?
We'll get them shortened. We'll get them shortened down eventually.
We'll figure out a system.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we deviated a lot in this, and
we did.
Bit to cut out, but
all right. So, I guess we should wrap this up then. And,
next week we are going Home Alone.
Next week we'll be Home Alone. That will be our Christmas special.
Starring Michael Jackson and Macaulay Culkin.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Hey, did he?
I gotta shut this off before we get in trouble. All right. Well, that's our the following week we will be doing a Home Alone review for Christmas, and then the week after that, because it is here in the United States at least, we have the 10th anniversary of Interstellar, and they are re-showing it in IMAX, and me and Captain Quintana are actually going together to go see that
together.
Friends.
Yeah. Friends. Oh, movie friends.
Cinema friends.
Yeah. Might even hold hands. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, I'm definitely holding that hand.
Yes. Well, we're out of here. We'll see you next time and next week, same time. So have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in.
Critic, we are out. Take care.